All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good start.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Iron Seas. I am one of your captains, Evely Music. I'm joined, of course, as always, with AC Pritchard. To my bottom right, we got Jared Chrisman. Directly below, Ultimate Kahuna should be joining us shortly. And we have an awesome guest tonight in Mr. Brandon McNulty. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Yeah,
We got
man.
author
Thank you guys for having me.
extraordinaire, yeah, YouTuber, all kinds of great stuff. Instead of doing the typical rigmarole, we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it and just do everything we can with Brandon while we got him here. So thanks for joining us, and tell us about yourself. Tell us what you do and what you want to talk about tonight.
Okay, so my name is Brandon McNulty. For those of you who haven't heard of me, I have a YouTube channel called Writer Brandon McNulty, where I give writing advice every Thursday. I break down all kinds of things, whether it's dialogue, villains, character arcs, you name it. And it was something that I started 6 years ago because I had been learning to write a novel for years, and I had just kind of accumulated all this knowledge on the subject, and I wanted to talk about it more. So ultimately what I did, I got myself a camera and I started, just yapping about villains. And then next thing you know, that turns into all kinds of different videos on all different subjects. And one of the funny things about like the early days of my channel was I had like the lowest viewership imaginable. Like I was not ready for YouTube at all. So
Really?
I was looking at like maybe getting like if I got like 100 views on a video, it was like, whoa, 100, that's huge, And at a certain point, I kind of realized that I wasn't doing it for the views, so I had to find another reason to do it. And during this time period, I was always reading different books on the craft. So what I would do, I might like read a new book, like maybe something by Robert McKee, John Truby, whoever it was. And I would say to myself, okay, well, there's a lot of information in this book. And, I just kind of sped through it. Maybe I should go back, talk about it on the channel, just as like a reference for myself, because again, nobody was watching back then. And like, if people did, they were clicking off within 10 seconds. But, I just kept, making videos so that I would have something to refer back to. And somewhere along the way, I just started gathering a following, and it was really small for the first 4 years. And then out of nowhere, one random week in May of 2023, things just kind of popped. One of my 2-year-old videos had just blown up, and next thing you know, like people actually care what I have to say. It's been a wild ride, and I've just been very fortunate throughout the whole time.
Okay, that's really cool. Yeah, I was doing a little bit of a deep dive. We have a lot of people in our circle that are like huge fans, and I'm like, this is new to me, so I'm going to dig in. And I was like, I had to go to the very beginning. I had to go to video one. Let's see where this guy started, because we're kind of new to the YouTube game too. I'm like, okay, let's see if there's any overlap. Yeah. So your first video that is currently up, is that truly the first video, or was there some?
The Save the Cat review was I think my first video. Yeah, and it was bad, man, because it was funny when I was like studying up on how to do YouTube. I was watching these different videos, and they're like, the camera like dampers down your energy and everything. So make sure you're like really energetic and like, put all your energy you have into those videos, and, just push it to the top and everything like that. And then I, overdid it in those early videos. Like I sound like a total clown. But, in a way, though, I'm glad I did. I'm glad like I shot high, because then later on I was able to, focus it a little better. I'd rather be overpowered and then reel that in, rather than just kind of like mumbling, and then
Sure.
you gotta hope you figure something out. But I mean, I think with YouTube, it was a learning experience. It's still a learning experience. I mean, there's always different things I'm trying and testing out and things like that. But early on, it was just trying to find that video voice, if you will. Like how do I come across on video? And then later, when I started doing more like video essay type things, or ones where I was basically I would have like a lot of movie clips. I'd be reading off a script. I had to find like my script voice as well, because the first couple times I read off a script, it was just very like monotone, and it just had no juice to it. But over time, I started like figuring out how to get that energy in there, and keep the listener engaged by just playing around with my voice, or just laying into like a joke or something like that, or whatever it was. So I think like, and you guys, if you've just started, I think one thing to keep in mind is just be persistent with it. Because I mean, the only reason I'm here with you guys right now is because I just kept putting out a new video every week for 6 years. It was, yeah, I just committed to like a weekly thing. I think the first year I might have missed like 2 weeks just because like I was a little overwhelmed just trying to figure things out. But in the past 5 years, I've missed just 1 week, and it was funny. Yeah, I almost quit YouTube that week. Yeah. There was a situation where I was doing a video on the key elements of a thriller story. Like I had just read a book on how to write thrillers and everything, and then the author talked about, I think his name is James Frey. He talked about the key elements of a thriller, and I thought like, oh, that's a pretty straightforward, simple idea for a video. So sat in front of my bookcase, put the camera on, talked about it, redid the recording a few times to get it where I wanted it. And when I went to edit it a few days later, there was like this electrical noise throughout the whole video. And I spent like 2 days trying to figure out how to do like audio editing to the point where like you could clean it up. And it was just a wasted 2 days. It accomplished nothing. And then I just kind of gave up, and I'm like, okay, well, this video is not going to work. I'm going to have to re-record it. And then at that point, like I had been 4 years into it. This was before my channel really popped in middle of 2023. It was actually like a few weeks before that. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm done with this. I really, because at that point, like if I released a new video and it got like 1,000 views in the first week or the first month, first month, it would be like, oh, wow, that's an accomplishment. And I was just thinking to myself like, man, I'm not really, I've been doing this for 4 years and I'm really not anywhere with it. And it just kind of felt like I was fighting a losing battle. But, then I redid that video a week later, and then I did another video. And then there was something I wanted to do a video on video game story cliches. And that was one that I'd always really just wanted to do. And I'm like, you know what? I almost quit YouTube. If I quit, I want to at least go out doing some of my favorite stuff or talking about those videos I always wanted to do. So I did that one, and that was just the week where everything popped for me. So, it's crazy how timing of things works out. But, persistence plus time equals luck. That's how it works. If you're persistent, you keep giving yourself opportunities.
And it sounds like too, along the way, you're refining. It's not like you just had said, this is day one, this is what we're doing. You're always like tweaking things and learning along the way as well. It actually is relieving a little bit, because whenever I went back and looked at your first video, I'm like, wow, he was getting massive hits on day one.
No.
So you're saying it was like retroactive, everything.
Yeah.
So, and that explains too, because looking at the numbers, we're always looking at the stats too and trying to figure out like, okay, was it the thumbnail this week? Was it this? Do we got to change our tags and stuff? And so it was really cool to see your catalog of videos and seeing like, okay, the numbers are good, especially for smaller channels. Like, wow, he's doing it. And there's a couple that just like exploded and popped off that were really, really, like, I think it was Walter White versus Kylo Ren was just like huge. And then like the thumbnails, some of them are the side by sides with the video clips. Some are just your face. And I'm like, oh, did he change here because of this? And it's like, no, you just kind of always been doing your thing and just tweaking, but you've been consistent to a degree as well, even while you're learning, I think.
Thumbnails are huge, and it's interesting. Even now, if I have my face on the thumbnail, the video bombs. Nobody cares about me. They only care about like whatever character I'm going to be talking about. So,
ain't that the truth?
Yeah, I mean, they see my face, they're like, nope, we'll pass this week. But yeah, I do sometimes in the past year, I've done a few videos where, I didn't really talk about a movie or anything. So it's like, okay, well, I'll just put my face on there, and then, nobody cares, because it's like, oh, it's this guy. Come on, we could do better. But, it was funny. A couple weeks ago, I released a video on the 10 worst types of writers. And I was actually, I was sitting at the airport heading home from Seattle, and I was like trying to figure out what I wanted to do for the thumbnail, and I knew that like my face wasn't going to do anything good for it. So like I'm like, what do I do? What kind of writer do I put there? And I thought about putting like Jack Nicholson from The Shining on there, because like he's a writer and everything like that. But I ended up going with Richard Castle, Nathan
Oh yeah.
Fillion's character from
Oh
the
yeah.
TV series, and I was stunned at how well the video did. And like I don't even mention Castle at all in the video, and I just put him up there. He had like his little body armor with the word writer on it, and that ended up being one of my most popular videos this year. So I mean, it was just you test things out with thumbnails. If something consistently doesn't work, like my face, like just scrap it. But don't be afraid to try something new, or take a risk on some image you find online or something like that. Test things out.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that's pretty good advice. With the videos, you're saying you did one a week, and it's like nonstop for years and years. Now, obviously, if you're writing books, you can't be quite as prolific, right? Right? Or are you putting out like one book a month? Are you one of these kind of authors that's just like always, there's always something coming out?
Yeah. It's funny because every week I have this struggle where it's like, how much time do I devote to my fiction writing, and how much time do I devote to my YouTube scripts? And it's been ever since the YouTube channel took off, I felt a lot of pressure to devote more time to, putting out good videos. Because I mean, like, hey, I have an audience now, I might as well. But in recent months, I've really started to recognize that if I want to save myself some time, I got to do more videos on camera, where it's me speaking to the camera, as opposed to getting a video where it's like, okay, I script this, then I have to find movie clips to overlay, and then I have to sync them up with whatever I'm saying, and then it's just a whole back and forth trying to get everything perfect, as opposed to if it's just me on camera just waving my hands around and talking, I don't even have to edit anything there. I just maybe zoom in every now and then to get a little momentum. But one thing I've learned in the past year is that I really do love writing fiction, and I got away from that when YouTube took off, and not just because of the videos. I also wrote a book on storytelling, this one right here, Story Made Simple. But I had been delving more into like the craft of writing, as opposed to like actually doing the writing itself. And now that I finally got Story Made Simple out there, I've been taking it a little easier with the videos, and now I can actually bunker down and write the stuff I truly want to write.
Very cool. Yeah, I just got through your book, Entry Wounds, right? Or exit. We were talking before, and I'm like,
Entry Wounds. Yeah,
it is Entry Wounds. We were talking.
There
about
will be a
exit,
sequel called Exit Wounds, though.
Nice.
So you're half right one way or another.
Yeah, you got to do it. You got to do it.
I was telling Evalie before we went live. Originally, with my book Entry Wounds, which it's about a haunted gun. Once you pick it up, you can't put it down till you kill 6 people with it. And the concept was something I had lifted from like Goosebumps books that I read as a kid. There was one book called The Haunted Mask, where this little girl, she gets bullied by kids at school, and she wants to fight back. And she stops at this little shop near her house. She sees this terrifying mask, and she wants it. So she asks the shop owner if she could have it and everything like that. And she ends up putting it on, and it's terrifying, but she can't get it off. So she starts scaring all the people in town, all the bullies away and everything like that. But she becomes like this outcast, and she doesn't know what to do. And she's just horrified by the whole situation. But that idea of like, the haunted mask being stuck to her head ended up giving me the idea for the haunted gun being stuck to your hand. And and what Evalie and I were talking about was with Entry Wounds, the original title was Exit Wounds. And I pitched it to a buddy of mine, and I was like, I'm feeling really good about this book. I'm going to call it Exit Wounds. And he's like, no, you're not. No, you don't want to do that. There's a Steven Seagal movie called Exit Wounds. You don't want to be wrapped up in that. So I'm like, all right, we'll come up with something else.
Is there really?
Yeah.
Is this early Seagal or late Seagal?
It's Seagal.
It does not
Seagal?
It doesn't sound like early Seagal.
We're talking Seagal? Oh, where's Kahuna? Where's Kahuna? No, that super chat we got actually. Every time I read your name as McNulty, that's our other host, our other captain.
The Kahuna.
Just chiming in and saying hi. He's getting ready.
I've been called McNulty my whole life. McNulty,
awesome.
All those, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of good names. McNugget, yeah.
But it's funny. He was just talking about Seagal. But anyway, go ahead, Evalie. That's all I was trying to say.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, whenever I was reading your book, I'm usually a very slow reader, very slow listener, as some of these guys know. I take my time with some things. But I got through your book in like two-ish days, something like that, listening to the audiobook. And
Thank you. That's awesome.
yeah, the pacing was really good. So I mean, like, how do you make sure that you keep a pacing that keeps the reader hooked? Are there certain little tricks, or do you have editors that kind of help along the way, or is it just something you get over time?
Pacing is something that's very important to me. A lot of, I think like one thing like is especially like fast-paced stories. I really like them a lot because I get distracted, and I too am a slow reader. And I think when you're a slow reader, you kind of want things to move fast, like the story itself, because if you're only reading like 20 pages an hour, you want to make progress in those 20 pages. And like if I read a book where I read 20 pages and the only thing that happens is like maybe two people have a conversation and one walks to the other end of the room, then it's like we just went nowhere. Like what did I just do with that hour of my life? But if I read 20 pages and stuff is happening, stakes are being raised, the situation's getting more interesting, things like that, that makes me feel like I'm getting something meaningful out of the time. And I think when I approach writing a book, I'm writing something that I would like to read. And the reality is, if you do write a book, you're going to have to read your book a million times to, just polish it up and find all the mistakes that are in there and just, get it as best as it can be. So, if I write a book, I might have to reread it, 20, 50 times, who knows how many. So, you got to make sure that you're happy with it. And with me, like, I like faster paced stories. And I think I've always had like a kind of like an eye for pacing, or like just a feel for it. When I was growing up, I was always drawn to thriller type stories. The TV series 24 with like Jack Bauer and all that.
yeah.
I loved 24. And that was a show where they always had cliffhangers right before the commercial break and right at the end of every episode. And that was a show that I watched a lot when I was a teenager. So like I kind of internalized that. Like that was like, okay, well, before we break for commercial, like before we break for the next chapter, we gotta make the audience want something. And
Right.
then when I actually sat down to write my own books, it was a situation where it's like, okay, well, here I am at the end of the chapter. Is there something here to keep the audience moving? And I think from there, once you realize like the importance of cliffhangers, then you just got to figure out ways to keep them balanced. Because I have another book called The Half Murders, and this one's about a haunted house where only certain people are allowed to go in. And this woman and her daughter, they go up to the top floor and they both get chopped in half across the waist. And when they wake up, they find themselves next to these doppelgangers. So then they have to figure out how they're going to piece themselves back together. And then there's also a little murder mystery going on there as well. But when I was writing this book, my one buddy who I sent it to early on, he criticized me because every chapter was ending on this like super dramatic cliffhanger, like a dun dun dun, kind of cliffhanger where it's just like over the top, ridiculous. And he's like, you got to lay off here. You got to balance things out. And he was completely right about it. Like I had to figure out, okay, I got these cliffhangers here. I gotta be selective about like, okay, maybe I end on life and death stakes or something really dramatic, but then maybe I end another chapter on maybe a character giving another character a strange look. What does that look mean? how's that gonna pay off down the line? Or maybe I end a chapter with a hint at the developing mystery or things like that. So for me, like with pacing, it's all about understanding or anticipating what the reader wants and what is going to keep the reader reading. And I think if you figure out those two things and you put them into practice, you can keep the audience on the page.
There was
I like to look at the end of the chapters like the end of every chapter's got a point.
Yeah.
Like it's got a point somewhere. Like it's either going to point, so for in my book, it's like it's going to point somewhere, and you may not catch up with that character again for another 3 or 4 chapters because of the other POV characters. And so like I wanted so like it gives you like the temptation of making it super dramatic.
Yeah.
And like trying that balance between drama and subtlety and like walking that line. But it's like what I'm picking up in this interview that I appreciate the most about your YouTube channel is that you sound the same now as you do in your videos.
Wow.
Like,
Yeah, you don't have this like super scripted voice for radio on
Number
your
9.
videos. And now,
Right.
A good
now it's
example.
like-
A good example of this is AJ Gentile from Y-Files, and he would even admit this. I'm not even talking smack. I love the Y-Files, and I love AJ. Good guy, really cool guy. But he recently started appearing on podcasts, and you can just tell he's a very normal dude, and it's not just like this very professional, literally scripted. Like, he's just very good at it on the show. But then when you hear him on the podcast, it's like, oh, that's way different. Brandon, you're just like the fuck. Your videos where the knowledge is just there. You know, it's just
there's very little separation between this dialogue and the monologues in your videos. I like that.
AJ, the knowledge was there too. But anyway, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, you know what's really weird? When I do my videos, they are, even the ones where I'm on camera, they're scripted to a certain extent, and like sometimes like I'll ad lib and things like that. But when I am on camera, and like I will have to go again and again and again, like just repeating it until I get it right, as opposed to like right now where there's some actual flow here. And I think it helps that like we're live, and like I don't have the ability to start over, because I think whenever you have the opportunity to start over, you have that temptation to give in to your perfectionist urges and everything like that. And that's what's a killer for me. Like I'll be sitting in front of the camera and it's like, okay, well I didn't use enough of inflection with this one word, so now I'm going to do it again. Or I didn't lean in hard enough to that particular joke, so I got to redo it. But I'm just having a good time here, so that's all.
My 4 favorite words in every video is, here's why this sucks.
yeah, dude. Here's why this sucks.
Here's why
this one sucks, because most people like my get readies. It's like, oh, get ready. The get ready thing. I used to, like, early on in my first couple of years of YouTube, I was always trying to come up with like a clever intro for each video and everything like that, and it just wasn't working, or it was just taking too much time, and it was getting frustrating. So there was one time where I was just like, get ready, because we're just going to talk about what we're going to talk about. And then like I just kept doing that, and it caught on as like a little inside joke in the comments sections of some of my videos. And I'm just like, okay, well, we'll just keep rolling with this, and I'll just say it a little louder next time. And then that became like the long-standing intro for my videos. And same with like the ending, where I always tell everybody to keep on writing, so kind of like bookends the videos.
One thing I was going to say about your book too, as I was reading it, just fresh in my mind, with the pacing part of it, I'm telling you, there's so many books I've read, I'm like, why don't they just do this? And it's never addressed. And then I'm like, why didn't they just do this? If I was in that situation, that's what I would have done. I'm reading your book, and I got to a point in it where I'm like, why don't they try this? I swear it was like a page later, like, we should try that. I was like, thank you. I appreciate that. Sometimes I watch shows and that happens, but I was like, dude, he thought about like what might the reader be thinking by this point, and it was like perfect timing. It was great.
Let me see if I'm reading your mind correctly. Does it involve the chainsaw?
It does. Yes, it does. That was exactly it. Yeah, so I've seen Evil Dead,
Yeah, it's funny, but that particular scene in Entry Wounds, it was one of the later ones I added, because it was just like you said, there were certain things that people would expect, like, okay, how are you going to get like a haunted gun off your hand and everything like that? And it's like, well, obviously you're going to try to rip it off, you're going to try to grease it off one way or another, and like as I'm going through like all the different possibilities, it's like, oh well, we could get even worse with this, we could get even nastier with this. But it's funny, there was something somebody said to me years ago about Entry Wounds, and they're like, why doesn't he just like kill people who are like dying in the hospital, or like they're gonna die? No, and it's a valid suggestion.
It
like from like a practicality standpoint.
Picturing it would
like
be horrific.
If you have to kill 6 people and like somebody's gonna die tomorrow, then yeah, there's some merit to it. But
sure.
Like with the character of Ken Fujima, like his mother had died in the hospital a couple years earlier, and that was like his motivation for not doing it. Now, unfortunately, in the book, like I never actually had him explicitly state that. So like some people, like they'll come up to me, like if I see him at like a writer's conference or something like that, they'll be like, hey, one thing that bothered me about Entry was like, why didn't he just like go to like some kind of like place where, you know, people are dying off anyway, and like why not just kill them? And I'm like, well, you know, I should have been a little more explicit about that. But yeah, it's something I'm probably gonna have to throw in there in the sequel just to kind of wrap things up a little bit, you know, just to give everybody what they want or what they expect with that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought the pace of the book, again, it was just like, it was so breakneck that there's some decisions in there where it's just like, yeah, man, when you're in those moments, things are moving so quickly and you got to make decisions on a dime. I don't know. Maybe you're not like, let's do this or that, and just things just happen. It's kind of crazy. And I was thinking haunted chainsaw might have been the answer. Not just a normal one, but a haunted chainsaw might have been the move there.
Or perhaps a priest-blessed chainsaw.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
I'll have to do a spin-off series with all kinds of different haunted weapons you can't put down. But I don't know.
Yeah,
My goodness, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh man, that could be a lot of fun.
That could be my thing, my little subgenre. Yeah.
It just starts this whole thing.
And then when it starts feeling a little stale, I don't know, like book 12 or something, suddenly the next book is like a haunted pencil, and you're like, yeah, that's right.
Well, John Wick.
A weapon.
I mean,
yep, everything's a weapon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That would actually be a cool idea for a story where instead of just the gun being haunted, the person's hand is haunted, and you just whatever they pick up becomes like a sort of weapon, or becomes like a sort of like devil's bargain where they have to, you know, be careful with it.
Oh boy, now we're getting
pick
there.
up like a Twinkie or something, like, oh geez, this is gonna be.
Oh, here we
tough.
go.
It would be like a reverse entry wounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so
smother him.
Yeah, you got entry wounds, and then you're talking about with the half murders. I mean, it's called the half murders, and these people are cut in half, and then you got the doppelgangers, and then you got bad parts. We haven't talked about bad parts at all yet, so.
Yeah, bad parts was my first one, and it was the one that, you know, had the most growing pains for me. Like when I look back on like the books I've written, like entry wounds was the most fun to write because it came after all those growing pains, and it was just like the first time I actually got to write a novel as somebody who knew like the basics of what they were doing. And then but before that, like bad parts was, you know, it came after I'd been writing for like maybe about 10 years, and you know, a lot of things I learned along the way that I was finally able to bring to life in bad parts over the course of like a 300-400 page book. Now, Bad Parts, it's small town horror. It's about a town where people trade away their sick and injured body parts in order to get healthy again. So like if you had like lung cancer, for instance, you could trade away your lungs and you could get brand new ones in return. But the catch is you can't leave town with them or else they'll disappear from your body.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and it was one of those concepts that came to me while I was watching Poltergeist, the Spielberg movie, and there was a situation where in the backyard of that, there's like late in the story, there's like this earthquake-like scenario in the backyard, and this rock or something comes out of the backyard, and it looked like a disembodied fist to me, and that just kind of kicked my mind into motion, and I was like thinking to myself like, you know, what if there was like some kind of story around this? And then like the next day I wrote like what was supposed to be like a flash fiction piece, and then it ends up going on to be like this fantasy story about this god who had been broken down in all these different little parts. And I wrote out that whole novel. It was terrible, but the good news was that like a year later I came back to it, and I'm like, what if I brought this into contemporary times, and I turned it into like a small town horror story. And then that's where the whole you know, there's this demon in the woods where, you know, it's trying to, you know, get different parts from people in town.
That's cool. Yeah. And you have a way with the titles too. These like have like a gritty edge to them, you know.
Yeah, Bad Parts came from a Nine Inch Nails song. I don't know if you ever heard The Becoming. There's one part where Trent Reznor just yells out like, "It's killing away all of my bad parts," and like I was listening to that one day, and I was just like, "Yeah, that's the title of my book right there." and then we already talked. Yeah. Oh, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I basically have two things in my story seed bank, I call it. And it's funny you bring up flash fiction. That's one of my favorite things is flash fiction and short stories. But like one of the things I do with my story seed bank is, aside from just a very quick sentence of a description of like, oh, a world where this, that, and the other thing happens, right? One of the other things I do is literally just make a list of possible titles. Just because, like, once something has a title, it's like it almost writes itself a lot of the time, and it's awesome. It can evoke the imagination, especially like if it just sounds cool later, you dig it up, or sorry, it sounds cool now, you dig it up later, and like now you're approaching it with new eyes, and then suddenly you're like getting different imagery in your head or whatever.
I'm really glad you brought that up because I actually have something written here on my desk.
Yeah.
I just 10-minute mark. For some reason I wrote it down. Like I was just I might have been like thinking about like, oh, we're at the 10-minute mark of this video, and I'm just like, something about that just sounds interesting, and I have a story idea for it. Maybe not like a novel, but I think like maybe like a short story, like 10 to 20 pages, where I want to explore like a dark scenario where every 10 minutes something terrible happens. So I'll keep you in suspense about that.
Yeah, that sounds like that's a fun premise. I love
Built-in
a good
ticking
premise,
clock,
man. That gets
lots
me.
of suspense. Good stuff.
Absolutely.
A lot can happen in 10 minutes, man.
Oh yeah.
Then there's also the play on the word mark, like because a mark it's like a name, it's like
Yeah.
a
target.
10-minute mark, obviously, but then a whole bunch of things.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then like you said, I mean, sometimes you just look at the words in a title. Well, think about it, like even when we go to see a movie or we pick up a book off the shelf, sometimes the title just sends the message about what it's going to be about, and that kind of fills our head with ideas and everything like that. So, title's got to pull its weight, and I think that's why it's so important to come up with a good one, or one that signals the type of story you're writing. With all three of my books, like they're kind of like snappy titles: Bad Parts, Entry Wounds, The Half Murders. They all end in the letter S, which just I don't know, they just played out that way. But I think by ending in the letter S, it feels a little more active to me. So it's just it's something to consider. Like if you do come up with a good title and you can build a story around it, roll with it. And on the other hand, if you do come up with a story and then you have to figure out a title, make sure it's a good one.
Absolutely. I think part and parcel with that too is even after you have a good story and you have a good title, you got to have a good cover too, right? So what's that process like? Like how many drafts do you go through, or do you direct it, or just say, you're my artist, I love what you do? What's that process like for you?
That process for me is just paying very good money to the cover artist, because I'm not an expert on anything like artistic like that. Like I know like the basics, like I can tell like a bad cover from a good one, but in terms of like picking what works and what looks really cool, like I trust the artist on that one, because I think the other thing, you don't want to screw up with your cover art. It's too important. It's just like the thumbnail on a video. The cover art, when people are scrolling through Amazon, or if your book does end up in the bookstore, if they see it and it grabs them and it signals, okay, this is what's going to be going on in this type of story, then that's crucial. And I think a good cover artist, they not only know how to make a good image, but they understand how to tailor it to whatever genre you're writing in. So for me, I write in like the thriller/horror genre, so I'm going to need a certain type of cover in terms of not just like the image or like the lighting or anything like that, but also think about like the font styles and things like that signal like, okay, this is a thriller font style versus some other stuff. I have my books here. Let me see here. Like, because there's like with Bad Parts, this was one I told them like, okay, it's a supernatural thriller, and what can you do as far as like creating like some kind of like a small town atmosphere, and like I always want like a human element on it. They talk about when you have a cover and you have somebody like even if it's just like a shadow or something that can signal to the audience, like it's like kind of like a grappling point for the audience. It's like, oh, I could see myself there because I see that person in the woods. Or let me see, with Entry Wounds, like you have this situation where the guy on the cover, like he's holding the gun, and it personalizes it and everything like that. And then with the Half Murders, I have because there's the whole doppelganger. Let me see here. I got the blur effect going on here, but there's like, there we go. There's the two same person being split in half. And like there's so many nuances in this cover that like if you look at it, like they have different facial expressions even though they're the same person. The house, one side is ruined while the other is healthy. Like it plays into a lot of what I'm doing in the story, because after the main character gets cut in half, there's a situation where if she gets too far from her doppelganger, her legs stop working properly. So, you know, like that goes back to like the idea of like the haunted house being like these two different sides. And things like that.
You have this great way of just like cranking it up really fast. It's good though. It's like, well, after she got cut in half, whoa, you know, like,
Yeah.
well, my story's about
I'm sorry,
a
could you
gun.
say that again?
Yeah.
It's like my story's about a gun. Oh, okay. Yeah. Once you pick it up. Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I was staying at an Airbnb. This was back in like 2019, and it was me and two of my friends. We were going to a conference up in New York, and we stayed at this place with this couple, and they were like maybe in their 50s and 60s, and they asked us like, oh, what are you guys here for? And we're like, oh, we're here for a writers conference. And they're like, oh, what kind of stuff do you write? And at the time I was writing bad parts, and like I just looked the woman like square in the eyes, and I said to her, I'm like, yeah, well, it's about this small town where, you know, people trade away their sick and injured body parts in order to get healthy again. And, you know, if you try to leave town, they're going to just vanish from your body, and then you're going to die. And like I said it like in like just like a casual voice, and she looks at me and she just starts like shaking her head, and she's like, you just described that in the way someone might describe a Jell-O recipe. Like
Yeah,
it was just
like, yeah.
like she's like that's just creepy. That's too much.
That's what I'm thinking.
really-
I'm like, these ideas are wild, man, but they're a lot of
Yeah.
fun. They're definitely pretty unique too.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
so you're saying?
I love coming up with like I love like just mixing ideas together. That's where it's so much fun for me, because I think like if you get like a fresh idea, then like a fresh story will naturally arise from it. Oh, and then you're
When
go ahead.
Half Murders was your third book,
yeah, that one I released
that-
last year.
I was gonna say that one hasn't been out very long.
No, that one I
No.
released last April, and you know, it's been so hard for me to talk about it, like, because like Entry Wounds, it's such an easy elevator pitch. Haunted gun, can't put it down till you kill 6 people with it. Half Murders, you kind of have to explain the haunted house, and then the 2 people getting cut in half, and then they wake up next to doppelgangers. And sometimes like I'll explain it to like people I see, and they'll be like, wait, what's a doppelganger? I think I know this, but like they're not too sure. So I really haven't figured out like the perfect elevator pitch for the Half Murders yet.
Yeah.
It's just you know, it's one of those things that has been like driving me nuts. But even with bad parts, you know, it's pretty easy to elevator pitch, a little bit more of a mouthful than Entry Wounds. But I think like the dream is you always want a book or a story where you can just say like, okay, it's about this and that, and then boom, and it just plants a seed in the audience's mind.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're good at
Yeah,
it.
very
You're good at it. And I'd say the blurbs and the elevator pitches they're their own craft, much like the cover art and the
Mhm.
font are both their own crafts. Like it's like, okay, cool, you got a cool book cover, but like how's the font look? You know, because like it's 2 separate things, man. Like
A font will make or break a book cover.
it
Mhm.
can,
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude, it's crazy. It like beautiful art, terrible font, terrible book.
Papyrus.
Yeah.
Or Algerian.
Chiller.
Oh.
Can't forget.
Chiller, yeah, that's
Do you remember-
I love Chiller. Chiller's my
Do you
boy.
remember
Hold on.
back in like 07 when every like black metal band went through their papyrus phase,
Oh,
or like
yes.
not every death metal band went through their papyrus font phase.
Of course.
Yep.
Jeez, come on, guys.
Because they want you to squint at it to understand what they're yeah. You guys big metalheads?
Yes, sir.
I am too as well. Yeah.
Nice.
Maiden,
Me
Pantera, all the big thrash bands. Yeah.
Sick.
Me, Jared, and Evely are all vocalists. Evely is like kind of his own band though at the same time and does it all. Chrisman, I don't know. Can you? What do you just? You can play guitar and sing and all that. Do you do it all too? Are you like a drummer too, or?
Oh, only if I'm playing AC/DC.
I gotcha. Yeah, everybody. Yeah, everybody.
It's like the video with the guy with the drumstick attached to the hat, playing the guitar and all those things and singing. And
That is amazing, actually.
it is.
The guy's. I love that guy.
Yeah. I love too, even the book you have, Story Made Simple. The cover on that too, obviously very different
Yeah, that
than
was
your horror books, but
That's a
still
clean
very.
page, man. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, because
It's just-
this one right here, yeah. This
Yep.
was, I didn't know what to expect with this because I had never written like a non. Oh yeah, there it is. But I had never written like a nonfiction book, and if I could just get the blur effect off. Yeah, there we go. But like, I reached out to the cover artist. They're down in New Zealand. They're called Damon Zaw, and I was like, yeah, hey, I have a nonfiction book. There it is. Yeah, right there on the screen. Perfect. But what do I do? Like, can you make this look great? I mean, is there even really much fun you can have with it, since it's supposed to be like straightforward and non-fictiony? But yeah, they did an amazing job with it. They actually sent me a couple different covers. Each time I go through them, they do send me at least two. And there was another one that it had like a pencil as like a dart, and like there was like a little target board and everything. And a lot of people, like friends that I showed the two covers to, they're like, oh no, you got to go with the dartboard one. And then like my one friend pointed out to me, he's like, yeah, the dartboard one is fine, but it looks like something my boss at work would force me to read. Whereas the light bulb one looks like something like, oh, ideas in your head, like this is fun, this is storytelling. So I'm like, okay, that was what sold me on the light bulb cover.
Yeah, it's a great cover.
Yeah, and I like too that if you move back a little bit, or even with the blur, it kind of looks like a match that's been struck too. So it's like
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I would also argue that the dartboard is almost like achieving a target or like achieving a goal, whereas like the pencil is like creating something, and like you said, the light bulb is like idea. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
One thing I love about your channel, your writing advice, is I think if you want to write, if you're an aspiring writer and you're starting out, Brandon is a good voice to listen to. But I've been following the channel for a few years, and I have also do not recommended a bunch of other channels because you can listen to too much advice from too many different people. What I like about the way you communicate writing advice is how concise you make your point. Like it's not a lot of fluff. You don't go in. You're not bringing in like jargon, like writer jargon to it. Like you're not trying to impress other writers, like other professional writers, with look at my advanced esoteric knowledge of writing. It's like
I'm
it's
not an impressive
straightforward
guy. I'm just here to share a few things.
But like those other channels, I block them. I hit that, like, it's do not recommend as soon as they come up. Like I have no interest in what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, talk to me like I'm 5. Like give it to me straight and let me get on about my business. Like, and that's why like I followed your channel. There's like there are two. You are one of two that I listen to almost exclusively. With a few every now and then, I'll listen to somebody else when it comes to like writing advice.
Yeah, we don't like fluff around here. Absolutely not.
Only unless Kahuna's wearing it.
Right.
I am Kahuna, the knight nobody asked for.
Oh, fantastic, man. I had to watch it like a simple peasant in the shower like everybody else. Now, I'm here.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too. I wanted to make a good first impression. I figured this
Absolutely.
That's the way.
You caught us at the fluffy moment. You doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah.
Fantastic, man. I've never met you or talked to you, but I've watched your videos before, and you have really solid writing advice. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Fantastic, man.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And it's funny because Crispin was just bringing up the idea of how like I stay to the point and I'm concise, and it's kind of like how a lot of musical movements, like punk rock was an answer to this, or grunge was an answer to that, and everything like that. When I
Grunge was a fabrication so that they didn't have to pay hair metal, but continue.
You gotta let that go, man.
I can't.
But like the idea, like with my channel, when I was learning to write a novel, I was constantly going back to YouTube whenever I was stuck on something, and it was like, okay, well, how do I write a plot twist, or how do I write, an ending to a chapter or an ending to a book or whatever it was. And I would go on YouTube, and there were like 3 or 4 big author tubers back then, and there was one in particular who all the videos were 20 minutes long. And the first 5 to 7 minutes were just nonsensical rambling about, like, okay, well, here's what we're going to talk about today, and we're going to talk about it. We really are going to talk about it. I promise you, we'll talk about it. And then, like, 5 minutes later,
I bet you I know one of those people.
We'll talk. I don't want to badmouth anybody in particular, but but this was like when I was like desperate to like learn something so I could continue with my book. Like I would go on and I'd be like, oh, perfect, this is the subject I need. And then you go on there and then they're just rambling. And then this, like, to me was like, oh, this is so frustrating. Like, why can't you just get to the point? Why do I have to skip ahead to the 7-minute mark to
this
get
could be a
wherever I
6 or 7 minute video and it's 22 minutes.
It's exactly, yeah.
That's what's great about your get ready, because we're going to talk about this intro.
Yeah.
Like, boom,
I know we just get ready. We get right to the point. Yeah, I don't talk about what I did this past weekend. I don't talk about like long tangents on anything. I just we're here for a specific topic. Let's talk about that.
Absolutely.
Let's just get to the actual writing. And let's learn something, and let's explore some examples since we have a little extra time, because we didn't ramble on for 20 minutes at the beginning of the video. So, but yeah, that was
one of the other things that I think makes your channel worth people like if you're watching this, like, it's worth checking his stuff out.
He's actually written a book.
Well, no, but yes, he has. He's written 4 actually, but it's your examples to support your argument. Yeah. Like, you give very clear examples that everybody knows to support your argument that work. Like, they're not like, I have yet to find a video where you give an example and it's just like, that's a stretch.
Oh, they're out there, those videos. You dig deep enough, you'll find them. I've been learning through the years. But no,
like, there's so many videos, like, people like, well, this example from Edgar Allan Poe. It's like, shut up.
Yeah.
Like, you're saying that because you think that's what you're supposed to say.
Man, I've heard more people sucking off Poe than, like, he's a great writer. He did great poetry and it led to a lot of great fiction, but man, they are slobbing his knob, and he's been dead for like 100 years, man. I mean, come on.
He was influential. You can't take that away from him. But
no, absolutely.
I don't enjoy reading him. Like, I think the stories, the actual story is good, but his writing is just like we were Kahuna. We were talking a little earlier about, I don't know if you heard it, but we were talking about how, like, I'm like a slow reader. So for me,
you and Justin both, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
we still love you.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Thanks. But like, yeah, like, if I'm going to read only 20 pages in an hour, and I read 20 pages and like nothing really happens in terms of like the plot, and it's just like a lot of introspection or a lot of, thinking about what could happen, like, that's probably going to bore me in most cases, unless it's done in like a certain way that just clicks with me. But I like with Poe, when I read his stuff, it's just like, it's so dense that it's really hard to get into.
I do have a clarifying question, or more a related question, working off of that. Part of how I mitigate that is, like, I like history. I like reading history. I don't like just sitting there reading history. I'd rather listen to it. So do audiobooks work for you, and do you utilize them? Thank God. So, for those who can, it's a great tool, especially as a guy. You can still do stuff, and allows you to, get a lot more reading done.
With audiobooks, they're really good for me with nonfiction, because I think with fiction audiobooks, it's tricky because, if you listen to it for like an hour while you're driving, and then you don't pick it up for a couple days, it's easy to lose track of the story. But I think with nonfiction, the way most nonfiction is like it's broken down into chapters that are kind of like their own thing, and you could just kind of pick things up as you go. So I listen to audiobooks every day when I go for a walk, anytime I drive somewhere. So it's just like they're super helpful to like just soaking up as much information as possible. And I'm one of those lunatics who listens at double speed, so I listen.
No!
Yes,
No!
they always give me a hard time.
Damn
Now you
it.
guys never again. Never
You know,
again.
I love double
you know,
speed.
World War
Yes.
II was a tragedy, but if the Germans, if they could have prevented this, maybe they were right. I'm kidding.
Oh my god.
Man,
That's a bold statement, Cotton.
Yes.
I am definitely serious, not joking. Justin, he's listened to my videos at double speed, and at double speed, I sound like Ben Shapiro. I can't stand it. It's awful.
Well, they have on YouTube. I've seen the triple speed button too, and I always eyeball that. I'm like, ooh. But sorry, what were you gonna say, Brandon?
Oh no, I was just gonna say I listen to YouTube at double speed. Everything, like
No!
yeah, everything is. The only
This
thing
is
I
the
don't
way.
listen to at double speed is like music. That's
Music.
it. Like
Yep,
yeah, that's the only thing.
That's-
But like
We'd have
if
issues if
somebody-
you listen to music double speed.
There's something poetic about all that.
Justin,
though.
this was a trap. You're like, dude, I know this guy. He could totally come on. It's a great idea. It's like, you're the same person. Okay.
No, I mean it's just like I think like as I got older, I realized like, oh man, I'm not gonna have all this time left to read all those books and watch all those videos. So you know, if I can watch 2 for the price of 1 time wise, then it's a great deal.
You are.
I view
you're
it the same
the
way
smartest
I view
person I've ever.
music, though.
You know, after Everly gets off, he's gonna listen to Dashboard Confessional Vindicated. You know he is.
He's like, I just read Animal Farm in 18 minutes. How you guys doing?
I mean, we're onto something, gentlemen. That's all I'm gonna say is we are onto something. And one day, now what's gonna happen is the opposite. You guys tomorrow, you're gonna be listening to your audiobooks, and you're gonna look at that 1.5x, and you're gonna go, no, maybe, no, and you're gonna struggle with it. I guarantee.
No, I'm not going to listen to Roy Detrice moan, pretending to be a 43-year-old woman during an SEX scene at 1.5 times speed. I'm going to enjoy it in the slow, regular speed, like
Half
you're
speed.
like a man,
Like a normal person, half speed at those moments.
like an ordinary person.
All right, Kahuna, you might be the exception, but I think everyone else might be like, you know what? Let me try 1.5x. And once you get used to it, it's really not that bad. And most people, when they're talking, they tend to talk very slow and very clear and enunciation. And as long as they do that at 1.5x, you can still get all the information. It's just talking like I am right now, and it's not that bad.
Interesting
I
you
agree.
bring that up.
Anyway,
because-
I think. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, real quick, I just want to say, interesting you bring that up because when I did the audiobook for Story Made Simple, I recorded it, and when I was learning about how to record an audiobook, they told you to read slowly and stretch out all the words. You're not supposed to stretch out like in between the words. You're supposed to stretch out the words themselves. So that was like it was an experience for me, like in terms of like, because I'm usually like, get ready, we're gonna talk about this, but then it was like, okay, well, I have to slow this down for a different type of medium. So I had to listen to that because I did everything. I did the recording, the editing. The editing was hell. Never edited
It is.
an audiobook. It's a nightmare.
It is.
I love doing voice stuff, but I don't know how to do. I don't know how to edit and work audio, like electronically. So like that part of it, I'm still way lost on. Yeah.
I had to use Adobe Audition, and I must have listened to the audiobook maybe about 10 times from start to finish.
At what speed?
At one, just regular. It was killing me because there was the only option. It was the only option with Adobe Audition, and like the worst part is though, like you're listening to it, and then you find some kind of pop, some kind of like click, some kind of like you never realize how many annoying sounds our mouths make. Like just like you don't even hear these when you're in conversation with people, but the audiobook, you know, it picked up everything, and I was using like a condenser mic, which was like pretty good at picking up like the sound of my voice, which was great, but it also clicked.
And then he.
Yep. All that,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
garbage was in there too.
Yeah.
And the worst part was every time I went through it, I would be like, okay, well, I'm going to start at the beginning, just going to listen to it one more time. And then that next time I would find a brand new type of click that I missed the first time. So I had to go through it again. And then this repeated itself again and again.
100%.
And again.
You know what really helps? You know what really helps with that, Brandon?
What?
You're recording sausage. You never record without a sausage, so you can really get.
Nobody warned me about that.
You don't want people to miss that.
I recklessly ran around without the recording sausage. Yeah.
Your next book, audiobooks made simple.
First
like page.
Actually, on second hand, that sounds like something you trick your wife with. Hey, honey, it's a recording sausage. What do you mean?
I might make that into a short.
Oh yeah, that's getting clipped for sure. Especially the bite.
There's the title of your story, recording sausage. That's the inspiration.
Exactly.
Electronic erotica. Here we come.
Oh
wait, that's
what were we
gonna
say?
Here we come. Anyway,
what were we gonna say though, Christmas?
I was gonna say like about audio books, like people that read audiobooks, like that do audiobooks. There are two classes, I think, and there's a distinct difference when you have an actual actor reading an audiobook. It's an entirely different experience than when you have someone who reads audiobooks professionally, and like it can go either way. But a lot of times I have found even with like the best in the business in terms of audiobook readers or voice actors for audiobooks, they're not as good as a really good actor. So it's the gold standard, like I do this, like I'm on my 4th time through the Silmarillion with Andy Serkis.
Yeah, he did.
Andy Serkis is a really good narrator though.
But the thing is, like it's so good. If I have any distractions, like that's not a background entertainment for me. If I have any distractions, I won't listen to it, or I'll rewind it and start it again, like start over again, because it's so good. And then I'll listen to what's a good example? The guy who did that, like Child, who did the Patrick Rothfuss's novels. Like,
oh yeah, he's a killer, dude. He's really good.
But there's they're in way different leagues, man. Like,
yeah.
That's like double. He's double A ball at best, and Andy Serkis is like major leagues Hall of Fame. Like there's a difference there. Like, yeah, he's good at voices and stuff, but an actor knows how to deliver lines where and how they need to be delivered, and there's a difference, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Someone else can call me an idiot, and
it's a different kind of performance. I think certain ones suit certain books. The Great Gatsby is not a great novel, but it's a decent novel, and Jake Gyllenhaal read it just fine. Ed Harris is a surprisingly good narrator for books. He's done a couple of shorter projects, but yeah, it's Ed Harris. But then after a while, you kind of forget that because he does such a damn good job reading it. And you're like, man, what happened?
The Hunger Games.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
The Haggard Games.
Yeah, the Hunger Games lady. She actually didn't do that bad reading it. The actress.
The author.
No, the actress. From
Jennifer Lawrence?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
Oh, she read the book.
She did the audiobook?
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense, but I'm surprised I haven't heard of it.
It's good. What can I say? It makes the books better somehow.
I was going to say, one of the best I've ever heard was Nick Offerman reading The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, and it's usually free. Dude, it is amazing. He just knocks it out of the park, which raises another question. When you're writing a book, it's like there's so many more moving pieces. It's way more complicated, I think, in some ways than maybe an outsider who doesn't write books would think. You got to write the book, you got to edit it to death, you got people weighing in on it, you got to make sure the pacing's good, the cliffhangers are good, but not too much. Then you got to do the covers, and then you have the audiobooks, which having a good narrator and even making that decision between, do I get a professional audiobook reader? Do I find an actor? I mean, even that process, what's that like? How do you make that decision whenever you got to pick out somebody?
First thing I got to bring up is that when I do write the book, and especially when I edit it, I make sure that everything is readable. and you'd be surprised because like a lot of times we take for granted, like we write something down, we write out a story, and a sentence looks good on paper and it sounds good in our head, but
And then you read it out loud.
Then you read it out loud and you figure out how broken it is. And the one thing I always do before I send off my book to my copy editor, and then even after I get the copy edit back, I will always read it out loud to make sure that everything in there is something that can be spoken by a human being. Because like, and other things to keep in mind, like how you arrange paragraphs and things like that, that can also, signal to the reader, like how much time should be given in between a certain sentence or whatever it may be.
Or run-on sentences too. That can screw it up too.
Of course. And another thing to keep in mind with that, and especially like with new paragraphs, that often is going to have new energy because it's that new paragraph. So sometimes you can signal to your audiobook narrator, where to bring things up. But of course, that happens like with me, like when I read it out loud, that's when it comes to life for me. So, I get to hear it out loud. I get to, actually speak it and figure out if it is sayable. But that's an important part of the process.
So,
and then
go ahead. Have you, sorry, the thought just struck me. Have you ever noticed when you listen to an audiobook and then if you read it just, physically?
Say an audiobook?
No. Listen to an audiobook and then you read the physical version of the book. Sometimes the emotional beats will hit me in different places.
For sure.
Depending on the experience. Like Red Rising, that's my favorite series at this point. Has been for maybe 5 years. I don't know if that's going to change. But the emotional beats hit me in very different places, depending on whether I read it physically or I'm listening to that Irish guy, whatever his name is, read it. So yeah, no, I think that's an interesting thing.
Well, yeah, but it makes total sense because I think when you read something on the page, you're reading it in your mind's narrator voice or whatever you want to call it, as opposed to where you have somebody, external reading it to you in the form of like an audiobook narrator. And one thing that was really tricky for me was when I was picking the narrator for the Half Murders. There was the one I ended up going with, basically like the way it works is you go on this site called ACX. It's like Amazon's audiobook platform where you upload your audiobook and then you get to basically, you make a call for narrators, and then if they're interested in your book and they like whatever you're offering to pay, they will reach out to you and they'll do auditions and things like that. And they might have to read like a page-long sample from your book. And there were 3 really good submissions, and one of the 3 submissions I had actually I thought I had heard her from some other book or some other sample, and I reached out to her and I'm like, hey, I really want you to read the Half Murders. I think you'd be great for it. And I was like dead set on this one woman, and then there was another lady. She came along and she's like, hey, what are you offering pay wise and everything like that? I'm like, oh, well, here's what I'm offering per finished hour. And then she's like, okay, I'll do a sample for it. And she read it, and I just loved the dark energy of her voice. But there were some issues I had with her dialogue and some other things that I was really getting picky about as I was listening to it again and again, because when you make a decision about what audiobook narrator you want, I mean, that's a big decision because you're going to have to listen to that person for probably 5 to 10 hours,
and then you're asking your audience to as well. And what if
exactly? Oh, 100%. You hit it right on the head, and that was something I thought about. And what was interesting, so there were 3 women who were really great, and they did an excellent job on it, and I narrowed it down to 2. Ironically, the one who I thought was a good pick, who I actually reached out to myself, she was the first one I dropped because when compared to the other 2, I just noticed there were some issues with the pacing of her reading style and things like that just didn't click with the book's energy. So it came down to the other 2, and I sent it to some friends for some outside feedback, and everybody's like, oh, go with this one. And she was like a professional, and she did a really good job on it. But I liked that lady with the dark energy, who she had some issues there, and I was like, okay, we could probably work on this. We could figure out how to get the dialogue better. And the night I was going to offer her the position, or the gig, not a position. It's not like it's not like she's working for me for years or anything like that. No, but the night I was going to offer her the gig was there. I went to my inbox, and there was somebody else who had reached out to me, and she's like, "Hey, I really love your story. I just submitted an audition right now," and I put it on there, and I was like blown away. I was absolutely blown away by like this. This was like number 4. She was absolutely incredible. Her voice, her energy, and everything like that. And I'm like, I'm going to need another day with this. So I went for a walk the next day, and I listened to them back and forth. You know, the dark energy girl, and then the new one with like the high energy, if you will, who was like there at the last minute. And I was like, this high energy is just too good. It's just too good. But as I was walking and listening to it, I noticed that there was like this effect to her narration where she would start off her sentences with good power, and they would just kind of like drift away. And it was something like and I likened it to like the Pepsi challenge. Like, you know how like the Pepsi challenge worked, where you would drink the Pepsi, and it, like Pepsi tastes great at first, but Coke tastes better over time. And I think when you are picking an audiobook narrator, you want Coca-Cola. Because your audience is gonna have to listen to somebody for hours, not just for a few minutes. So like, I'm very fortunate that I went for a walk that day, and I was just listening to them again and again. And
let it simmer a little bit more.
Yeah. Because like I almost fell for the Pepsi, but you know, it was like a situation where when I really took a step back, it was that, once again, that woman who had her name is Whitney Dykehouse, and she's the audiobook narrator, the Half Murder. She did a phenomenal job, and like her voice carries this incredible dark energy. And you know, we had some issues early on with like, I didn't like her initial dialogue voices, but after I hired her, she was willing to work with me, and I said to her, like, okay,
through it a little bit.
Yeah, let's make this guy sound a little nicer. Let's make this guy sound a little nastier. I want her to sound a little older, a little younger, whatever it was. And she was so cool about it, and she just knocked it out of the park. And I'm so glad I went with her.
Absolutely. So awesome. And sometimes there's more technical issues with narration as well. Some people aren't able to have, like, say in a really complicated, complex, longer book, like a Wheel of Time, Sanderson, something of that nature. It's like there are thousands of named characters, and some people just don't have that many voices in them. And to be fair, nobody really does. Every voice is just a slight variation of a voice that they do, but some people just can't do that. Or a much more common problem, Justin will actually agree with me on this point, some women can't do guy voices, and some men cannot do women voices almost at all. And it's painful.
No, they can't.
Not like my woman voice. No,
your woman flawless.
Yeah, one narrator in specific, and she's an amazing reader, you know, great everything, but whenever she has to voice certain male characters, like the macho guys, she always puts on, her voice is always like this, and it's the kind of thing, I don't know, something about it just didn't work. It's a me problem. Most things are a me problem, but it was
suddenly
just like,
they're all from Brooklyn.
Or my
my other favorite, what you doing over here?
They all turn into New York cavemen before too long.
My other favorite one is whenever you read a book and you love it so much, you get the audiobook. So you read the book and you're like, I got all these characters' names down. Like, oh yeah, Evele Music. Oh, great character. And then you turn on the audiobook and it's like, then Evele Music showed up. I'm like, no, I had it wrong this whole time. Because I never hear anybody say it, you know?
I know all about that. Yeah, no, that's way different. That's funny.
I think. Go on. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. You were already.
I was just going to say this is probably a good segue.
He has neck tattoos. We don't have to listen to him.
Okay? Exactly. That's the rule. I was going to say
you could just put your fluffy scarf on, and then we would go. There you go. Now we have.
You guys have to listen to me. I'm the height of fashion on the Iron Sea.
Yes.
That's how we distribute rank. It's all by fashion. But the next segment is going to be Batman time.
Yeah, let's roll with it.
I don't know how much more time we got with you, but stick around.
We could go I could go 45 minutes. Then
Sweet.
Okay.
I did
Fall
order a
asleep
Batman
with it.
mask, and it did not arrive in time. It was a full rubber,
You
full-headed,
son
full
of a
neck
bitch.
cowl, and I'm so upset it didn't get here.
Dang it!
Also, I don't know where all my other masks are too. I think someone in my house, maybe my kid stole them or something. What kid would steal all of my fun-looking masks?
Any kid.
And leave you with the fluffy scarf.
They couldn't
the
reach this,
question.
otherwise they would have. Yeah.
No, he's
No,
planning on. You're going to be the villain. That's why you have the fluffy scarf and they got the
okay.
mask. Yeah.
Oh,
You get to be
speaking
the
of villains, this movie is not. It's half Batman, half Joker film. They are both technically protagonists of this movie, and it's much more prominent than say a movie like The Dark Knight. That's my hot take for this movie. But anyway, let's get into it.
The script is the real villain.
Evely, really quick. Okay, Evely, do you have
Yeah.
a famous Evely breakdown?
Yes, it's the super
Yes,
famous,
go
world
for it.
famous. I was going to do it in
Yes.
Christian Bale,
The world
but maybe I'll
famous.
just read it normal. Having witnessed his parents' brutal murder as a child, millionaire philanthropist Bruce Wayne fights crime in Gotham City, disguised as the Batman. A costumed hero strikes fear into the hearts of villains. But when a deformed madman who calls himself the Joker seizes control of Gotham's criminal underworld, well, Batman's got to face his most ruthless nemesis ever while protecting both his identity and his love interest, reporter Vicky Vale. This is directed by Tim Burton's. It's you got Elfman on music, Michael Keaton as the Batman himself, also Bruce Wayne. I don't know if you guys knew that. It's the same guy plays both of them.
What?
We got the Joker and Jack Napier. I didn't know Joker had a name. I'd forgotten that whole arc in this movie. Kim, this is just like the audiobooks. Is it Basinger? Is it Bassinger?
Basinger.
Judges, chat?
I've always said
Bas-
Basinger.
It's by San Ginger. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
That's the Hollywood
Basinger,
pronunciation.
yes. Chaim Basinger. And then we got a couple other names in here. Billy D. Williams,
Yeah,
right?
Lando.
Forgot he was in this. There you go, Lando. Michael Goof. Michael Gow.
Definitely
I
Gow.
like Goo.
Definitely not
Definitely
good.
Gow. Michael Goo.
My name is
Goo.
Michael.
Jack
My name
Palance.
is Michael Goo.
Jack Palance was in there, and then Tracy Walters, Bob the Goon, which great casting of his name there. Now, here's the thing about this movie that blew my mind is this came out in 1989, so I was just a little tyke. I didn't get to see this one in theaters, unfortunately. I know
still
you were
swimming
negative
when this
50.
came out.
Yeah, right. The movie cost $35 million, 1989 dollars, and it made $411 million. So
Yeah.
according to a couple different calculator sites, that's over $1 billion for this film that it raked in,
Yep.
which is phenomenal. I was like, wow, good for whoever did that.
You know what beat it that year though?
No,
Last
I don't.
Crusade.
Yeah.
Oh
Last
well,
Crusade was the top grossing in '89.
Amazing.
You
People
remember,
love movies in
you
89.
remember when your average year actually was filled with so many movies, it was hard to pick a favorite?
89.
Yeah.
I wasn't alive yet. That's when. Yeah.
I was 11.
there we go. It was a good year,
Holy
wasn't it? That was a
sweet.
great year, dude.
F, dude.
Dude, people.
I'm
like the movie.
94. I'm still like 5 years from my dad making a decision. Anyway,
I will say I don't have the DVD for this one, and I was watching it because on we were talking before the show too. HBO Max has all kinds of Batman things that we were talking about. They have Batman Beyond, which I didn't know. I know Brandon used to just watch that, and it was awesome. But they have so much Batman stuff on there, and it bummed me out because the picture they had for the film, they had the little thumbnail, and it's like this white background and Batman's blue. What is that? I want the black background with the Bat logo. You know, like that's what I'm used to seeing. It's just
give me the
strange...
painted VHS, like the hand-painted VHS cover. That's what we all want. We all want it.
But yeah, anyways, aside from that, I mean, I think this movie right off the gate, I think it would be hard to argue. You can talk about there's issues. I would agree with the script. I personally think, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the casting, hot take, but the
Shut
music,
your mouth, Evan.
I know. The score, and I'm not a fan of the Prince tracks, but the score, the Elfman score, so good. And the cinematography, holy cow, there's so many...
Justin, you're riding the line on your opinions.
That's
here.
fine.
Like,
There are so
off
many...
the cliffs, back up.
Great. There are so many scenes in this movie where I paused it and I just had to like look at it because it was just the cinematography is phenomenal, I thought. But those are two things right out the gate. It was just gorgeous
It
to
is
look
the
at, and
best
the music
Gotham we've ever seen in a live action
Oh,
film
dude,
by
yeah.
a lot. It's not like I love the Nolan trilogy, but that's just Chicago
Yeah.
with more white people. That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this film, there's a lot to praise about it, but I actually have some problems with the casting as well.
You shut your mouth, Kahuna.
Open your mouth.
Want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
You want to get nuts?
He's a very good actor. I don't think he embodies the physical presence of Batman or even Bruce Wayne very well, in my opinion. I'd say what's his face, Iceman actually embodied that a little bit better, even though he's maybe a different take. But Jack Nicholson is just Jack Nicholson, but Jack Nicholson is really good, dude. Like, it's a very different take on the Joker, but he's a very good actor, and he has this menace that very few other people on the silver screen have ever brought, in my opinion.
Shut your mouth.
Here's the thing. All right, this is one of my big hangups, and I have evidence. I can bring receipts. The biggest.
Nowhere. Sorry, Brandon. The time has come.
The shirts, throw them in a pile. Everybody all together, point them titties to the sky. Ultimate shirtless kahuna. Ultimate kahuna.
This is great. And what were you saying?
See, Brandon, I told you all. I told you. Absurdity and idiots.
Well, I can get into both of those. Yes.
I didn't think this would work and stay up here, by the way. So,
well done, I guess.
Yes. Thank you.
Here's the huge issue I had with Jack and Nicholson, because I agree he's a great actor. There were moments in this where I felt like he felt too grounded. To me, he felt like a sane man who was kind of being crazy rather than just a crazy guy. And even at the end, whenever he gets thrown off of the tower, a crazy guy would have fell and laughed. Instead, he screams. It's like he knew what was going on. Like Jack Napier.
Well,
was still
they
in
actually
there.
explain. So, they don't only explain. They show his entire backstory essentially.
Yeah,
and they did a couple things with the lore too. Like, there's been comics where the Joker was the one who killed Bruce Wayne's parents, but it's not common. It's not common in the Batman, kind of zeitgeist, so to say. But like, I do like it just because it's a little different. It is kind of fun, him just being kind of a gangster. Also, it doesn't really explain how him going crazy gave him all these crazy gadgets. Like, where did those
the melt you hand or the
what was that? When you used it.
Yeah.
The Texas 22 pistol, as I call it.
Oh yeah,
it pulls it out of Jack.
It has the telescopic barrel. It's like,
oh my god,
it down.
That's amazing.
The handshake scene too. Whenever he shakes that guy's hand, and the guy starts getting shocked, and smoke's coming up, and he starts lighting up, and he's just this corpse, and the guys around the table are just sitting there like
they don't react. Nobody reacts.
Thank you. I was watching like
it's the most common thing they've ever seen. It's like walking down the street to them. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah. Yes, I know.
I hadn't seen this movie since I was a kid.
Same here.
It was funny because the reason why I suggested it for this was because I'm working on a video that I'm going to do on like all the different Batman movies and everything. And so obviously you gotta hit 89 and then
Batman and Robin, obviously the best. We all know it.
We love it. We love it. Nice to see you. Yeah.
What did you think of the romance
in this one?
It felt natural, more so than many other Batman films.
No, in 89. Oh.
In 89.
Yeah. No. How about this? Pause. How about this? It didn't feel natural. They had chemistry though, and a lot of the time, the Batman actors and his love interest actors on screen do not have chemistry. It wasn't realistic, but they had chemistry. Maybe that's a better explained way to say it.
it was just I was so caught up in the fact that Alfred was like, yeah, hey, you've been on one date with her. You should tell her you're Batman. You should tell this journalist that you're Batman.
Right?
Take your meds, old man.
In
That's
what
so
universe is that a good idea? Oh,
Alfred,
she's a
shut your
journalist.
mouth.
Like it's her job to tell people the truth.
Right.
Swear to God, I'll put you in a home, Alfred.
Oh.
But they needed an excuse to get Bruce Wayne back to the apartment so they could have that so he could get shot through the perfume tray.
That's true. It's all true.
Oh, they love shooting him and not hurting him in this movie. It's incredible.
And
Just,
it's-
The cinematography, the shadows, the shots are. And Gotham has
It's a
never
good-looking
felt
movie.
more like Gotham
Yeah.
than in this film. Not in any other live action film.
Yeah.
Has it been the case.
I love that
is
it's
a good
very
looking movie. Yeah, you can't take that away from it. But
yeah, very gritty, and there's always just steam everywhere, which I love.
Yeah,
80s
I
films
know.
were very big on particle effects, and this one, tons of steam. You were talking about Batman getting shot though. There's twice. He's just like that one. He's like, "Hey, take this thing, Vicky Vale. You're gonna be up here safe. I'm just gonna fall awkwardly into this trash and then get shot." And then even at the beginning, when he's first fighting those guys, they just shoot him. He's like, "Oh," and just like collapses. I was like,
that was
what?
right after he asked her how much she weighs, which was just like, are you
108.
kidding me?
You were lying about your weight.
Yeah, it's like, you weigh a little more than 108.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh man.
Also, 105 pounds. My no shot, dude.
Even
She was not tall, but she was not a petite woman. I've known petite women who were like 110, 115 pounds, and that's tiny.
There's some lines in this that they're kind of charming and how bad they are. It's not a level of like oh hi Mark. It's not like that. But just like things that are very period too. The people that mug them at the beginning, guys like, oh all right, I got an American Express card.
Don't
Like
leave
nowadays
around
it'd be
it.
like, oh man, American Express, man, do that. That was just funny. And then they when they shoot him, they're like, get his wallet. Batman has this back pocket with his wallet in there. Like, I don't know. It's just some dialogue. It's charming in the sense that it's just like, what?
Also, Batman definitely kills people in this one. This movie did not focus on that aspect
He
of the
definitely
character
does.
at all.
He
At
does.
all. Yeah.
Intentionally tries to kill the Joker from the Batwing.
100%.
does.
Targets him.
And
there.
it's like that you're the Joker, you're a gangster, you have a couple cool toys, but then you see a black jet in between buildings.
Yeah.
And
You probably
shoot
laughed
it
at it.
down with a pistol.
Yeah.
Well, dude, it's the
Don't
Burton
worry,
verse, man.
Batman. You've activated my trap card.
But like in Batman Returns, like Batman straight up sets a dude on fire. Like that dude burns alive.
with a like dynamite. Yeah, I rewatched that after doing 89 the other day. Yeah. And it was. I mean, it's better than 89, but it's still ridiculous. Like
I have a hot take, real quick. Batman Forever with Jim Carrey's The Riddler. I don't hate it. I like that film.
I'm going to be rewatching it, so I'll get back to you on that. As a kid,
You got hit me up on Twitter or something. I want to know because I haven't seen it in a long time, but I like that. I remember really liking that film. It was maybe my
bar
favorite.
was set so low with 89 and Returns that it was like I'm almost expecting I feel like Forever has to like stir something in me from my childhood that like
Justin, you shut your whore mouth.
Was
So,
it
so
Denzel?
let me chime in here as the resident fossil.
Yes.
So what you got to remember is culturally, we went from Adam West's
Yeah.
Batman
Shark repellent.
to
89
to Tim Burton's Batman.
Yep.
And it was
that movie had to be so dark.
And the thing is too is like you got to remember like 89 is the same year that Arkham Asylum, Serious House on Serious Earth came out, and so it's like that is the graphic novel that like really hooked me into Batman, and so to see a dark Batman, a dark Gotham, not this silly campy 60s on screen, like that was a huge thing for people. So there was a lot of this stuff that you guys being younger can see that we couldn't see because like it wasn't you know, we didn't have Robin saying something stupid like every 30 seconds. It's like, holy rusted metal, Batman.
Holy rusted metal.
Like I can't that like I was so mad in Batman Forever when he said that. It's like I wanted to punch Chris O'Donnell in the face. Like
I do every time I watch him in a film, actually.
Well, that's fair, but like but so yeah, so like culturally, like that was a big, like it was a big deal, and then like people were amped, man. Like they were so stoked for that.
It made $1 billion. Clearly, people were big fans of it at the time. I mean, that's serious cash back then.
But like also like look at the script. Like Brandon's right. Look at the script of this movie.
Yeah,
fully half of the time of this movie is dedicated from watching it from the Joker's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Like fully half. This is a true like dual protagonist story.
Yeah.
Just one of them's the villain and one of them's the hero.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've never seen a true split in a film like that. Not to this degree.
And it's interesting because the Joker, like his own personal journey, is kicked off once he gets thrown into the vat of chemicals, and it feels like an inciting incident in a story for like the main character rather than the villain.
Yeah, Batman is the more mysterious character at first. Yeah. Like you barely see him, you don't really know who he is. They don't even know what Bruce Wayne looks like. Apparently, he's looking at all his Japanese stuff on the wall. Yeah.
One thing I did like about the movie, the one scene I liked was when they don't know who Bruce Wayne is, and they start, talking shit on him in the room where there's all his collectibles and everything like that.
What a bold move in a stranger billionaire's house to start talking crap about him.
And he's back there the whole time listening to it, and then after they realize, oh, it's Bruce Wayne. Like he's cool enough to, I think he granted the journalist guy an interview or something like that.
They gave him the grant.
Yeah, or gave him the grant. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was like that was. I liked that scene a lot. Like especially like as far as like introducing Bruce, like this version of Bruce, I thought that was great. But
the one thing, like that the guy who played Alex Knox, like he killed that character. He was such a schmuck.
Yeah.
Every time he opened his mouth, just like, ugh.
I just want to punch it. It's like in Sunrise. Something about your face. I just want to you in the face.
I like too with the you're talking about with it being like Joker is half the film and Batman's the other half. It was cool whenever Joker had the scenes where he's all messed up from the chemicals. Then he has to put on makeup to hide that. And that scene where he's like wiping it off and revealing who he actually is.
I thought that was cool.
That was cool.
Actually.
Yeah. And I
like the idea that like he was messed up by the acid, but the botched surgery reconstruction afterwards is why he looked so effed up.
Yeah, I had to watch some behind the scenes stuff because his prosthetics in this movie, I feel like they've never looked quite right. It just looks kind of like they put cheeks on him. It turns out what they did is they cast his face in extreme expression. So it actually is Jack Nicholson's the biggest smile he could make, and then they took that and then just put the prosthetics on. But they were talking about whenever they had the scene in the script, the guy who does the special effects was saying, yeah, we got to have he's wearing white paint, so we got to paint him white, and then he has to put like flesh tone on top, and the guy's like, how do we do that? Like, does anybody around like put makeup on makeup? And he was saying it was like quite a process, but it was cool to see that. Because of seeing that it is actually one of his expressions, it bothered me a little bit less because I always thought it looked a little bit, I don't know, a little bit goofy, kind of a little bit too prosthetic-y, if that makes sense. Something about it just never landed for me. But after seeing that, I'm like, okay.
Well, this movie is trying to be more like the comics than some of the later iterations, especially like the Nolan trilogy. There's very little comic booky about that whole trilogy as a whole, which is fine. Like, I love it. I understand what they're going for, but like the whole prosthetic, like they're trying to make him look more like the comic character, and I think for that purpose, it's not supposed to look natural. I think maybe is my point.
Yeah. And they originally had him with this crazy green hair, and Jack Nicholson was like, maybe this isn't the right color, and they toned it way down so it was in the reflections of the light that you catch the green rather than just being like green, like in your face. And I think that was a good call because between the makeup and the prosthetics, if they had that crazy green hair too, that would have been a bridge too far, I think.
The reticulated hair. But so real quick, just because I know we have limited time with Brandon, and I have a feeling tonight that it may be the very first time we ever see the sync clip. So I'm just gonna get right into why I like this movie, but I think technically it syncs. I'll start it off. I think changing the canon. Oh, spoilers! What was AC going to point out? Changing the canon? Are you kidding me? Okay, let me point out. On the other hand, though, it's beautiful. Tim Burton, Danny Elfman, some of the best Danny Elfman.
The music. We've been not even touched it, but the music's incrable. It's really solid.
But overall, unfortunately,
especially the Prince songs, right, Justin?
I was just gonna say, with the Prince songs, it makes it an uneven soundtrack and thus kind of hard to judge. You could say, oh, it's like a hybrid, but anyway. But I mean, I don't know if it landed like that. So I'm gonna say sync. You kill Batman's parents with a convoluted way of making it the Joker. The Joker kills Batman's parents, basically. Okay, that's a huge change. Just saying, Batman kills people now. Whoa, nobody cared.
Well, that's like even in comics, that wasn't a big moral question for Batman in a lot of his early comic runs. That kind of came later. It's like Superman at first also couldn't fly; he could just run and run really fast and jump really high. A lot of the stuff we associate with these characters, because they've been around since the 30s and 40s, they've changed. The characters and how they're characterized has changed quite a bit over time. And so stuff like the no-kill rule, it's not always been as big of a deal. In fact, early Batman, he was murdering folks like all over the place. But
I'll grant you that. But then also changing the Joker's backstory, literally changing it. He's Jack Napier now. You just threw that in there. Okay, I can get behind all the Tim Burton aesthetics. I love Tim Burton, Danny Elfman, some of my favorite guys. I was the one over here fighting for Nightmare Before Christmas when that sunk. So here's my revenge. I am sinking this. I'm sinking it. I'm sinking
real quick. Bring up Mayor of
Orc
City Johnny Douglas's comment.
Hail, honored mayor.
The last one. Sorry, John. That's not very nice. He's our guest. You can't say that about our guest on the show, man. That's not a nice thing to say.
Wait, Justin's not a guest.
I know.
I know, yeah.
For real. He's a captain, John Douglas. Anyway.
All right, I'll dive in here, I guess. If can I go next?
Yeah,
right,
pass it off. Pass it off.
No.
So I didn't love Nicholson's Joker, as I mentioned. I didn't love Keaton as Batman. We kind of talked about that a little bit. Most of the side characters, I thought they were fine, not exceptional. They didn't really stick with me.
Jim Gordon
if that
sucked,
makes sense.
Kind of. I didn't like Jim.
Yeah,
Gordon.
they were fine. They weren't bad, but they didn't really stick with me. Harvey Dent, I felt like they kind of made him a character early on. He kind of faded off, and a lot of I just
he
felt
was
like
actually supposed to be a bigger character overall, and that whole thing got scrapped.
That makes sense. I thought it was fine, although some issues. But I will say, the music, the music with the exception of Prince, there's some really great music in this. The cinematography, I've already gushed about it a ton, and it's so good looking. There's some scenes, the one where they're in the office and the guy's just standing there and the lights coming in at the angles. I paused it, man. It was just like, man, what a shot. And there's several moments in this film, stairwell shots and this and that. Excellent. Whenever he puts on the suit with the Batman logo.
That was what I was talking about with the visuals. I can agree with that.
So he throws on the suit. He's got the Batman logo with the gold and black, and then the whole next sequence, whenever he's blowing up the acid or that whistling threw me off. The chemical factory, everything is black and gold. So it's like reflecting. I'm like, that's such a good decision with the color grading. Fantastic. The Batmobile it's too cool. Like the Batmobile is so awesome. My older brother had the toy when we were kids.
Even the stop motion armoring up, I was all that. I was there for it. It was cool.
So that because of those, the sets, there's some okay action and some silly parts. To me, there's enough here that is enjoyable. I have complaints. I've mentioned them. This is not an airship. It's not a huge float, but to me, this is absolutely a float. There's enough here. There's enough meat on the bone that it is worth your time, I'd say.
I think AC and I were going to disagree for the first time on any vote, maybe, except for one other time. It's the only one I can remember us strongly disagreeing on. It has problems, but this movie, I don't think anybody who has seen, I don't know. I think despite it's a movie that I think is enjoyable and good despite its problems. It's like there are other films you'll watch, you're like, man, it had all these good things, but it just didn't hit. I think this is like the opposite of that. It had all these problems, but it still hits. That's where I'm at with this movie. I'm gonna say that it floats. If for nothing else, then the very awkward scene after the aggressive horizontal copulation scene where she looks over and sees him hanging by his feet like bad for no reason. I think that's one of the funniest scenes of this whole movie, and I have no idea why it's in there, and it makes me happy.
I'm getting cooked.
The spine.
Damn.
Just looks over. He's just like thinking upside down. Yes. But yes, I say
down, bro.
float.
Dang it. All right. How about Crispin? What do you think?
Yeah, definitely float. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I was prepubescent me freaked out when it came out. So yeah, it will always be a float, and despite its flaws, they're endearing to me at this point. And I can fully acknowledge them. Everything you guys have said are perfectly valid points that are 100% accurate, and it still floats for me. And I think one of my favorite parts of this film was the very end church tower scene, and it's just the line, like they're fighting, and he grabs the Joker's like, "You idiot! You made me!" It's like that was so good. I love that part of it.
Yeah.
But it does lend credence to what you were saying. Is like he's not crazy. He's in there. Like a crazy person wouldn't say that. Like this is just a maniacal madman.
Mm-hmm.
I have one other point to bring up real quick before we get to Brandon's opinion. This is the only movie where Bruce Wayne and Batman, where he feels off his rocker. Someone who would do this is absolutely out of their mind. And this is maybe the only Batman movie live action where Batman and Bruce Wayne, they feel like the character feels like someone who is not all there. And this is the only movie maybe where that's the case. But yes, Brandon, what do you think?
It's a hard sink for me. Just drop it to the bottom of the ocean. I have so many problems with this movie. I think we've covered a lot of them, but I think the whole movie builds toward this super contrived moment where not only are you violating the whole Joe Chill kills Batman's parents backstory by crossing it over with the Joker, who happens to be this gangster, who happens to be this, but it's all brought together because of some random quote that the Joker spits at Bruce Wayne while he's trying to steal Bruce Wayne's girlfriend away from her. And, Martha. It was the Martha of its time. You're right. That's a great point.
Brandon, answer me this: would you rather watch that movie or this movie?
Oh, definitely. I'll take that. BVS is like the bane of my existence, man.
Dude, that is the second most. It's not the worst film. Second worst. It's the second most disappointing film I've ever seen in theaters. I had very high hopes, and then everything, all of the trepidations I had with the whole franchise came together with that movie. But yes,
I had low hopes for BVS, and I was still just like gutted. I was my friend had to force me to go see it in theaters because I'm like, I just didn't like the idea. Like, why are you having Batman and Superman fight each other? Because why?
Everyone's like, oh well, Batman is time to prepare. No, watch the animated movie Justice League War. That is how 999 fights out of 1,000 would go between Batman and Superman. Just Superman casually breaking everything that Batman can throw at him. Casually, easily. It's like throws a smoke bomb. He's like, I can see you, by the way. I hate that film so much.
Really quick. You heard it. 5 out of 5. 4 out of 5.
There you go.
4 out of 5. This is an Animal Farm. I'm not changing history. 4 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
2 sinks. Sorry.
2 sinks.
Maybe it is Animal Farm.
I sunk it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Math is hard. It's okay.
Yes, math is. We math here. Okay, here it is. And here we are in the final section where we just hang out, chill. whatever.
Now, guys, we have to treat this victory with the proper sportsman, like
I won. I was right. The losers, yes.
Yeah.
That's better. Okay.
Absurdity and idiots.
Mhm.
Absurdity and idiots.
We had one job tonight, and we let it float.
Yep, I know.
my voice can't stop going now.
I tried. I thought for sure mentioning the kryptonite of superhero movies, which is changing the source material, would have for sure put a big enough hole in the side of that.
AC, you know the problem? This wasn't done to make a political statement. It was done for artistic reasons, whether those reasons were good or not, and well directed or not. Well, it wasn't done.
That is a good point.
Yeah,
it wasn't done with a
and
message.
people were looking for a new Batman, like Chrisman said, after the goofy Batman days.
Yeah,
I forget which one of you said like you were disappointed with Michael Keaton in this, but like Bruce Wayne, like I really didn't have much of a problem with him, but in his Batman suit, I don't know if it was just because he was so constricted in the suit, but I felt like it just put a whole like damper on his energy as the character. Like, I don't buy him as Batman, and I don't know that it's the actor's fault so much as it is just the fact that he's basically stuck inside this rubber statue version of himself that, he can't move his head, he can't do this. He feels like he doesn't want to be there anytime he's on screen as Batman.
That's a hard thing. That's a really hard
technical limitation that's hard to
off.
overcome. Yeah.
Again, I'm not knocking Keaton. I'm just saying that like that suit was just like brutal. Like seeing him in it, he just looked so stiff, and I feel like that just pushed down his energy. Like I think he wanted to be like that kind of Batman, but instead he's like.
I was more afraid of him as Bruce Wayne. He's a billionaire who
That's when he gets nuts.
He's a billionaire who has someone point a gun in his face and he breaks a bottle. And it's like, let's go, mother.
Yeah, McNulty.
That guy's more scary than Batman to me.
What did you think of Bruce Wayne instead of the Batman, since the suit is the thing? Like, how did he do as Bruce Wayne?
Like I said, like I had no problem with him as Bruce Wayne. Like I thought he was strongest when he was Bruce Wayne. Like there wasn't very much of him to go around in that state because we're half and half with Joker, and then maybe you got like a quarter of the movie he's Batman. So, but
he felt very human as Bruce Wayne, and he also felt kind of
But he wasn't Bruce Wayne as Bruce Wayne. That's the thing.
Yeah, he was
like
an interesting character, but he wasn't very
this
Bruce Wayne.
quirky, eccentric billionaire, not the debonair, suave playboy billionaire. And that's
one thing. Oh yeah, no, finish. I just want.
Well, I know, and so like that. I think that's why Keaton was cast, because that's Burton. That's what Burton does. Is that eccentric?
Weird. He likes his eccentric weirdos.
Yeah. But not in the contrived James Gunn sense of quirk. Like he does, like he is like legitimate eccentricism. Sorry, and so like it was just unique. But it wasn't Bruce Wayne, and it was still unique the way he played it off. Like the whole scene with like at his party. With Alfred's following him around, picking up at it because he's like half putting the pen down and half putting the glass down. It's like, oh, I got that in Japan. It's like oh, like that kind of stuff. Just like that, really, it was unique. It was fun.
I was waiting for someone in the background.
Weeb.
One thing I liked about this portrayal of Bruce Wayne that I thought was fresh and interesting compared to how we usually see him. This is Bruce Wayne as not a celebrity, but more of like an outcast, like where people don't know who he is. They don't even know what he looks like. And I thought that was like an interesting dynamic for him compared to like what I'm used to.
I think for this character, it makes sense. For your normal Bruce Wayne, I don't think it does, because obviously everybody knows the playboy who is dropping millions of dollars over nothing, essentially. Yeah, everybody knows that guy.
Yeah. Also, but I mean, it played into like that more eccentric version of the character, and I thought that was just like a great way of portraying it.
Can we all agree though, chat?
No,
you can chime in. Can we all agree that just Kevin Conroy is the best Batman.
Yes.
Yeah,
That
on
voice.
doubt.
Okay.
It's and when it comes to the voice acting, it's not even fair because you got Mark Hamill and
Yeah.
Kevin Conroy, and together those two are unbeatable, dude.
Yeah,
they were
that's-
so damn good.
That's
It's
my
insane.
favorite Joker too, for sure.
The first two Arkham games had those
Oh,
two.
yes.
On board
I
as
know.
well, yeah.
And you felt
We
it when
were
they
spoiled,
left too.
yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Arkham
Oh.
City. That game was
Yeah.
incredible. It's still
Yeah.
fun to go back to. When it came out, it was just like, I can't
Dude.
believe they got a Batman game this way.
Mask of the Phantasm being the best Batman movie. That's including animated. I don't agree. It's a good
Best
movie. but I
Batman movie of
don't-
the 20th century for sure. I'll go with you on Mask of Phantasm there for 20th century, definitely.
Not of all time though. I can't say of
No,
all time. Yeah.
Dark Knight for me.
I'll be honest. I like Begins more than The Dark Knight. I think it's a really well paced film. I think it's a really good origin story. I think it's the best origin of Batman that I've seen in written or filmatic form. But yeah. Also, Mage's musings earlier said, so elephant in the room, how rich can Bruce Wayne actually be before he's now the villain? Money is an enhancer. It makes you more of what you already are. If Bruce Wayne is a dick, he becomes a bigger dick when he has more money. That's all. But if he's a hero, the money allows him to be a better hero. Money is not evil. It is just an enhancer. That's my opinion. So if someone else has a different answer, go ahead. But
money is power, and so like that's after I wrote my book, I realized what the theme of that whole doorstop was. Is that like my position in the theme of that book is that ultimate power does not corrupt. Ultimate power reveals.
Yeah,
and it reveals the character. Like if it's a corrupt person attains ultimate power, then they're going to be ultimately corrupt. But if a good person attains ultimate power, they're going to be ultimately good, and they're due ultimately good. So money is power. So that's like you're saying. So that's that. It's like that terrible line in Batman BBS where he said, "What's your superpower?" Or no, that was Justice League.
That was Justice League.
Well, yeah. What's your superpower? I'm rich.
I like how everyone's like, "Oh yeah, Joss Whedon ruined it." I'm like, no, the movie was trash before he got his hands on it. I don't think he helped, but yeah, no. It's like, hey guys, well, how about we have the Snyder cut? Let's make the long, boring film way longer. That'll make it better.
Oh, dude, when Martian Manhunter showed up at the end of that, like Bruce was like, "Where the hell have you been this whole time?" Like his response is, "Okay, cool, man." But like, seriously, you've been here this whole time? The whole time? Come on.
Also, it's like he was all freaked out because Superman's an alien, but then he's like, "Oh, but I knew about Martian Manhunter. We're cool. It's not weird." It doesn't make any sense. Oh, it was all BS. Anyway.
So Brandon, I'm very curious though. Like, I know, I obviously you're going back through all of the Batman film versions.
Yeah.
Off the top of your head though, do you have one that you like the most?
Oh, easily Dark Knight for me, and it hit me at like the right time in my life where I was a senior in high school going into college, and like
Freshman.
I didn't know I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I show up at the theater one day and I see The Dark Knight, and it's just like, oh wow,
I could beat up criminals for a living.
That's exactly it. Yeah. Then I had to settle for just writing about people killing each other. So that was
high aspirations, though. High aspirations.
Yeah, no, Dark Knight just hit at the right time for me, and it's just so watchable and just so mesmerizing. And
dude, I watched it 6 times in the theater.
Wow,
I
that's
saw
a lot.
it twice.
I wasn't that
So
rich.
good,
I was
dude.
still technically a child, so I couldn't afford it. But I did see it multiple times.
Well, I couldn't afford it. I just did it anyway.
Oh, I didn't say I bought tickets, but I did watch it 6 times in theaters.
So good, man.
My buddy, he started Joker-fying dollar bills and selling them for like $3 to $5 a pop. He made a lot of money, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Jokerifying is in like writing
Like,
red, coloring red all over them, or
like using different colored markers and permanent pens and like making him look like Joker and having him on, just art essentially, like over the top of them. And I'm like, you may not be able to spend that anywhere, guys. And they're like, we don't care. But yeah,
it's like the one Seinfeld episode where they draw lipstick on the presidents and stuff like that. Yeah, I know.
So with Dark Knight's the favorite. What is like top scene in Dark Knight? What's
in Dark Knight,
the one that gets you?
I mean, there's a lot of bangers in that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the interrogation scene is amazing.
That scene is really good.
It's so intense because it's really the first time that they have a true face-to-face without like them being pulled in two different directions. Like, because obviously they meet during the dinner party where Joker goes after Rachel, drops her out the window and everything. But
the opening is really solid too, though. It's one of the best openings of any movie. It's really good. Yeah. Damn. Yeah, that's hard.
I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you?
What would I do? Go back to ripping out the mob? No, you.
Complete me.
That's so good.
Oh, dude, that was an incredible performance, and that's not to underplay any of the other incredible performances in that film. Yeah. Like, that movie is star-studded. I think people kind of forget. I'm like, you guys remember, like, I remember Morgan Freeman is super good in those movies too. It's like you forget because there's so many people. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Oh no, I was just gonna say everybody brings their A game, and then Heath Ledger just happens to bring his S game that day. I mean, it's just unbelievable. S++ game, yeah.
Oh, and what's his face as Alfred also. What's his face? Why can't I remember?
Michael Caine.
Yeah.
Michael Caine. Yeah.
Michael Caine's insane. Yeah. Actually, his dialogue might be one of my favorite scenes in that movie.
Watching the world burn.
Yeah, that's a really solid monologue, and because Bruce Wayne or Christian Bale's truly like not understanding something, which is weird as an adult man to come to that realization and to have someone wiser and older than you kind of try to illuminate something for you. I thought it was a really good.
Their relationship is fantastic in those movies. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
when he gets teary eyed a couple times in that trilogy, I'm like, I'm not crying. You're crying.
Dude,
shut up.
Yeah. His like brief monologue and the end of Dark Knight Rises at Thomas and Martha Wayne's gravestones. It's like, I failed you. It's like, there's a lot of problems with this movie, but I just died inside.
Yeah,
I don't care how many problems there are with them. I really like The Dark Knight Rises.
I do too. Yeah. I just picked it apart on the channel the other day. I still love it. It's
you did.
There's a lot wrong with it. Yeah, there's a lot wrong with Rises, but I love it.
I totally agree with what you said too. It's like, but
undeniably. But there's something about watching someone be broken and then pick themselves back up. There's an undeniable human spirit instinct. Like, we want to see that because we want to believe we can get back up after we get knocked back down.
It's basically Rocky 3, but set in Gotham. I mean, you have the character just being broken down.
I don't remember a black guy yelling at him.
You don't remember them running on the beach either? The hug in the water.
The frog.
I remember Bruce Wayne stripping down to like the shortest 80s of all time and running with a half top on a beach. I don't remember that scene.
The 80s were weird, man.
Yeah.
If you change a frame of that movie, though, I'll be upset. Anyway.
But yeah. The Dark Knight is I think, I may have to agree with you in terms of an overall Batman film. I think that's my favorite as well.
Batman himself is just very underrated in that movie because of how great the Joker is.
The Joker overshadowed Heath Ledger's Joker overshadowed everything. It was just that level of performance, and the soundtrack did its heavy lifting for him too. He had his own soundtrack that was very unsettling. It's like using unusual instruments in non-conventional ways. I don't always praise Hans Zimmer, but I praise that movie's soundtrack for the most part.
You take that back, you son of a bitch.
John Williams is the GOAT. Sorry. I also noticed, Brandon, before I got here, you guys were kind of talking. I listened to as much as I could about you guys talking about some of your books. You really liked Goosebumps growing up, didn't you?
Yeah, loved them.
I could tell. Your storylines. I'm like, this feels like a Goosebumps book to me, like an adult version of Goosebumps. That's dope as hell, man. Underrated.
Yeah, man.
I want to get my kids into that, except they're too young, so I'm gonna wait. But
yeah, the Goosebumps books were so good because they were all, you could read them in a day, like if you had the time for it, and there were like 50 of them. So that was a couple good months.
And then they were also different, and some of them were like weird, surprising Stephen King style endings, like what WTF was going on. Like there was one where the kids are afraid of this guy, like this store owner, and he's like eating animals, and he tries to eat them, and then it's like at the end, like their parents help the kids confront them, and it turns out the kids are monsters that eat that monster specifically. I'm like, what the hell did I just read, even as a kid? But I'm like, at the same time, like, this is kind of cool.
They were a lot of fun. Monster Blood was another good one that I loved. It was just about these kids they go into a store. They're always going into stores in these R.L. Stein books, and they just find something weird.
It's always like this weird antique store in a movie. Yeah. Or in a book, sorry. Yeah,
and it's just like those little things you could just build a big idea from. And
you guys remember the one where the sponge was the villain?
Was that I think that was the second book, right? In the basement,
it was under the sink, and it was like this. Yeah, it was like this sponge, and like it didn't even do anything directly. It just made bad things happen. Like, the tree fell and tried to crush you, and you barely missed you. It's like there's nothing to do. It'll just
It's called It Came From Beneath the Sink. I don't remember.
It came from beneath the sink. I remember that one. Yeah.
That's like a sponge with red eyes and like teeth.
I remember that. It's like the sponge. It's like
I remember it now. Yep.
Not really, but
so Brandon, so that makes me another question. Like, so, like it's I like in talking to other creatives in terms of like what like the stages of your inspiration. So like pre like middle school, what was your favorite story? Like book, TV, film, cartoon, whatever. Like what was your favorite story?
Pre-middle school, so we're talking like first 10 years of my life.
12 and under. Yeah, 10, 12.
12 and under. What was my favorite story? Well, that's interesting because I didn't really get into Star Wars till I was 12, and then that was I was late to the party on that.
Me too, dude. Me too.
My parents were never into like sci-fi and fantasy, so like they basically would just give me like superheroes and then Goosebumps comics later, or Goosebumps books later on. Favorite story might have been that's tough. I mean, we're talking like as a kid. You know what I watched a million times as a kid? The animated Aladdin. I was obsessed with it. I loved that movie. I watched it maybe every day.
Back when Disney had real villains instead of very reasonable things.
Jafar, dude, yeah.
Oh, Jafar is he's so
evil wizard.
Vile. He's so slimy and so vile, and
it's great.
But like, there's such a strong line of like sword and sorcery like vibe in that movie too. It's like it's true adventure, and having like everybody wants to root for like, oh, the kid with unfortunate circumstances, he's better than where he is, kind of thing. Everybody wants that, wants to root for that guy. And Aladdin made it very easy to root for him, even when he's like making mistakes and trying to figure it out along the way. It's like, back when Disney had good villains and had good morals too. Weird.
Yeah. The other one I loved back then, and it was like I've always liked like darker stuff, darker in tone, and Beauty and the Beast was like a dark movie, like the cartoon for like a little kid, especially like the intro section where they had like the rose and like the petals are falling off it inside the glass container.
Yeah,
I remember like I would watch that intro a million times.
A true fairy tale, fairy tale, maybe the most fairy tale coded of all those earlier Disney like Renaissance films. Also, I don't agree with it, but I do love the meme of like modern day. It's like everyone's like, I think Gaston was right. Like he is just like the town hero. He's hunting essentially a werewolf, and
Gaston.
I'm like, I don't agree, but it is kind of funny. It's like Gaston was right.
I've seen that, and I could see it. Maybe he was just a little too zealous with the whole romance thing. That's what makes him a bad guy. But he was like.
Did you
Well,
guys-
he didn't really take no for an answer, but he didn't take it further than that. He just was like very dismissive of her opinion about it. He kind of just decided what he wanted, and that's what he's
Did
going
you
to
guys
do.
ever
No
see-
Jack Napier.
Yeah. But
That's
did you guys
true.
ever see the 1982 anime version of Aladdin?
What?
No.
82.
No.
Dude,
I didn't know there was an 82.
I remember
Yeah.
I watched the Popeyes version of Aladdin.
So that's so like that. My little brother and I
What in the world?
dang near wore that VHS out, checking it out of the library.
Huh.
Like, and it's like
I
it's
wore
like
out the VHS
super
for Mask of
close.
Zorro. That's the one I wore
It's
out.
super close to the.
Oh yeah,
to
I
the
just looked it up.
actual
Yeah,
story.
Japanese animated Aladdin.
Dude.
That's crazy.
Dude, it's so good.
That sounds dope, but
Hold
I've
on.
never even heard of it.
Hold on, check this out.
If you haven't, like, try to find it somewhere. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It looks like YouTube might even have it just to watch.
Nuh-uh.
It looks
I
like
think so.
like pre-Ghibli. It's very Ghibli looking.
Yeah, really, it does have that kind of style to it. Yeah, it looks like the whole movie, Aladdin and the Wonderful Lamp, 1982 HD English dub on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
I know what I'm watching.
Send me
after
that
this.
link. Send me the link.
I know what I'm watching after this. That reminds me, ladies and gentlemen. Next week we have the return of Phoenix Press, and
Sweet.
for his sequel, for Phoenix Press's sequel, we have chosen a sequel in Tron Legacy. So we re-enter the
Speaking of
Tron
sequels.
universe.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Tronverse.
Phoenix Press.
I remember not hating that film. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. And it had a killer soundtrack. But yeah. It's fun looking at like inspirations and stuff. It's like obviously there were a lot of movies that I watched when I was very young, but like for me there was like Hawaiian and Japanese folk tales and stories that my parents read us. I didn't realize they were like not normal ones. It's like we also had Hawaiian variants of very traditional stories. It's like it's not Three Little Pigs and the Big Bad Wolf. It's the Three Little Pigs and the Magical Shark. And I just thought that was normal. Like they put a shark, this transforming magical shark got in drag and tried to trick the pigs, and it was different. It was different, but it was really
Yeah,
good.
that's something.
So Brandon, like later on, like formative years, like from like 13 through high school, like apart, obviously you already said Dark Knight for Batman, but like
Yeah.
was there like one or two like stories that really changed everything for you?
Final Fantasy was huge for me. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but
Oh, yeah.
those were some of
2007? Or are you talking about the games?
Oh no, I'm talking about the games. Yeah,
Okay,
not the
yeah.
movies. I've never actually seen the movies, to be honest with you. But the games, especially like the PS1 era, where it was like 7 through 10,
Yeah, dude.
they were unbelievable in terms of story for their time. Like before that, you didn't really have a whole lot of great stories in video games. Like there were some mixed in here and
It
there.
was usually
but,
serviceable stories. Like
yeah, you might have like there's actually like a really good Indiana Jones one. Indiana Jones and it came out in like 92. I'm drawing a blank on the name, but it was like a point and click adventure that had a really good indie story to it.
some of
And that
those
was the-
old fantasy and adventure click
Ooh.
point and click titles were not
Yeah.
bad story wise.
Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis is what it was called. I just remembered it, but yeah, that was
dope.
that had a and it has like a great story. I think they might have even used parts of like a script that got thrown out for like the actual movies or something like that. But it was a good one. But I mean, like you had very few video game stories back then that were like legitimately great, and then Final Fantasy and also Metal Gear Solid were those big, like in the late 90s were what kind of like pushed things in a new direction, where it's like, gaming is this serious storytelling medium where you have like, characters and facing all kinds of different conflicts, and they have backstories and motivations and everything. The late 90s Final Fantasies were so good at getting you invested in the main characters and doing the legwork to make you care about these people, and showing them as flawed people who had to go up against these wild and crazy villains who were hell-bent on taking over the world for compelling reasons, and like compelling in the sense like yeah, they're wild and outlandish, but at the same time they're human and everything like that. And those stories like they had a huge impact on me. And
this might be an age difference deal, because I remember games that made me feel about the story, and that for me that was like, I remember the Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 especially, they hit pretty hard for that. Halo was simple, but I enjoyed the lore and the story there, and just different games. It's interesting to hear like what games story was inspired you. Jared, was the story of Pong really fascinating at the time?
Well, I remember the first time I defeated King Koopa. That was harrowing. That was harrowing. Back before Bowser. I was there before when it was all pixels and you could trap the turtle.
I remember before Bowser had tits. It was way different.
Dude, in Final Fantasy VII, man, the scene. Well, there's a couple amazing scenes in that when Sephiroth first goes on his villain arc and he's walking through the fire. That video, and then of course the Aerith moment was just like, of course, dude. But yeah, Metal Gear was fantastic.
And the moment where he just drops his sword in the middle of the CEO's back and everything like that, like just leaves him dead there. Like just like they did, and they didn't really have like obviously they had some really cool cutscenes in those Final Fantasy games, but like they did so much with so little in terms of like the actual like what the characters looked like, and you really had to use your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no voice acting in those games, so you got to hear it in your head.
Right.
And you also like spent the rest of your life mispronouncing everybody. Like, I mean, you call her Eris. I used to call her Ares, and now it's Aerith. Now they changed the translation.
Aerith sounds like someone mispronouncing a normal name with a lisp.
Aerith.
It's cool. They do all these remakes and stuff now. Like right now, I'm playing Metal Gear Solid Delta, which is a remake of the third game. And
was that the third one?
Yeah,
love the third one.
It's so good. But
I
then
played
of course
the Phantom Pain, and I thought there was too many. There was too much cutscene already in that one.
Makes it great, dude.
MGS3 is weird because you get it's like a story sandwich. Like the very beginning of it and the very end of it are loaded in story, and then like the middle of the game is mostly just you like going throughout the jungle trying not to get killed and encamp.
Hey guys, we're gonna overhear another phone conversation.
Yeah. Oh, I loved those, man.
Also, I just realized something. Growing up, because I wasn't into the animus at the time, at least I didn't realize I was.
Yeah.
I thought Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts was the same thing. I'm not gonna
lie. There was
overlap. Until my teenage years, I thought they were the same entity. I'm like, well, what's with all these weird looking Japanese characters? I don't know what's happening.
That was racist.
Final Fantasy was like the draw with the original Kingdom Hearts. Like everybody's like, oh, I'm not playing this Disney game. And it's like, oh wait, Cloud and Sephiroth are in it, and Squall's in it too. Like now I have to play it. I'm a big Squall guy. Squall.
Oh yeah, dude.
Renoa.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
My wife loved Kingdom Hearts 3, or my ex-wife, but she didn't know how to play, so she would just she would just skip enemy patrols the entire game. So by the time you got to the final boss levels, she was under-leveled by like 20 levels, and she's like, "I can't beat it. You beat it." I'm like, "Why is this so hard? This shouldn't be this hard."
Let me just set this up to be really hard and then say you do it. Oh my god. Oh my
god. She did that for like the last 3 bosses until I finally figure out you're under leveled. You're gonna grind and level this up, and then I'll beat it.
This was a good aspect of the original Pokemon Red version. That game is unforgiving in the aspect where it reaches a plateau point where like everybody you run into is like the same strength, so you get way ahead of them, and then you plateau to a certain respect, because they just become all pathetically weak to you, and then all
real
of a sudden
gangsters played Pokemon Yellow, so you could get all 3 starters.
The same jump is in that game. The same jump is in that game. It's right after you beat Team Rocket's hideout and shit, and it's like right before the Pokemon League. Basically, there's this huge jump, and it's after like a plateau in the game, So like all of a sudden you're just hit with like all of a sudden shit just got real, and then you're just like completely unprepared at the league, and they make you like unprepared on purpose, kind of like as a last minute like gotcha. before you get there, because it's one of those games just like Final Fantasy where you can just get like over leveled in a sense, you know.
I remember Pokemon. I was a Squirtle guy, so like the first two were kind of tough.
Squirtle.
The first the first two gyms were pretty tough, and then from there I remember cruising through the game, and then I would get curb stomped by the Elite Four at the end. Like they were absolutely
You know what I'm talking about then. Yeah.
That was
I remember
cool.
bawling my eyes out at the Pokemon movie in theaters. I remember that.
Oh, man.
Good stuff.
1999, dude, that was rough.
And the Butterfree episode, that was brutal too. Yeah.
Do you guys remember those little ancient Mew cards they gave out at the movie theater?
Yes.
Oh,
I
yeah.
used to have those. I don't know what happened.
I had one too. I think we all had one, and guess what? They're extremely valuable now.
Really?
They're really valuable.
So I have one in the wrapper, and I looked it up, and it's only like $50 on eBay. So
Oh dang! Get it
the
graded.
ancient Mew, it's like purple and like gold, and like it looks like something out of an alien spaceship. Or...
Yeah.
It looked
with
like
the
a
back,
Yu-Gi-Oh card, truth be told.
With the different back, and it's like foil.
It was foil. Yeah, it was weird because my one buddy started bringing up Pokemon cards a couple months ago, and he's like telling me how like he has a collection worth like $10,000, and I looked up like the ones in there, and they're all like worth like maybe like $80 tops. And he, like,
but he has 9,000 of them.
Maybe all right, fair enough. But no, it just seems like I keep getting like conflicting information on how much Pokemon cards are worth. It's like, oh my god, you could buy a house with this, or you could.
It's like you guys remember the Beanie Baby thing? Like,
Brandon.
like buy these collectible
I worked at Hallmark.
Beanie Babies.
You're gonna shit yourself.
Oh, that's a Japanese one though.
Yeah.
Which is less valuable. Less valuable. Japanese is less.
Why is it worth more? You can't even read it.
Here's the other thing too. Somebody's asking that. Is that actually what they're selling
exactly,
for? There's a difference there.
Okay, hold on. Let's find out, boys. This is what you do. You just Google it, and then
he's gonna misclick and buy one of these things.
Imagine dropping $85,000 on a Pokemon card.
Imagine dropping more than $10 on a single card.
What's funny is this all reminds me of whenever I was a kid in middle school, a friend of mine had the internet before everybody else. And he also figured out that the US dollar versus Japanese conversion rate, he was buying American printed cards from Japan for a fraction on the dollar, bring them over,
selling them?
And then, well, yes, but first he would go to the comic store and he'd be like, "Oh, your foil Charizard's $50." He was selling it to kids for $40, and he was like, "Tell your parents because I got deals." And he was selling cards on the playground, and they ended up confiscating all his stuff and be like, "You can't ride the bus anymore." And his dad's like, "You're a brilliant businessman."
Wait, they kicked him off the bus for being a capitalist?
He was selling the cards on the bus, but I'm like, man, he went off to be like a CEO of some banking company or something. He just had that brain, but this reminded me.
Okay, so there you go, ungraded 66. Maybe that's why I'm seeing it for like $50 on eBay.
If you can, so in PSA is actually just the easiest grading system to use. You can go through Beckett grading. Everybody's heard of like Beckett graded whatever. You can go through them, and it's like it's a lot longer of a process. Like takes like half a year or something, but it's even more valuable through Beckett grading because it's Beckett grading.
Did anyone feel so old?
Oh, he's like Pokemon cards, dude.
Remember baseball cards?
Yeah, dude.
I remember those, but I also remember
baseball cards with the shitty gum in it.
Upper Deck, dude. Yeah,
those are valuable.
I remember that. I also remember not caring at all about baseball at any point in my entire life. I did remember buying Yu-Gi-Oh cards from the Chinese supermarket, like gas station down the street from my buddy's house. I'm like, every single pack is full of these weird looking legendaries. Every single one. These are definitely real. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely real. Yeah.
Definitely real. Not just like made in their backyard.
What is a Charizam? That doesn't sound right.
It's Exodius. Yes, that very famous Yu-Gi-Oh card. Yeah.
So the fake Pokemon card shit has gotten so out of control that some people have they've like made their own card game that is blatant fake Pokemon cards. So it's like the original 151 set, but they just like Charizard is a Cheeto and they named it Cheetozard.
Sounds
it's-
delicious.
It's obviously fake, right? But like these are obviously fake cards,
Do,
right?
do they get spicier with each evolution?
No, these people, yes, I think so actually. And,
Flamin' hot Cheetozard.
so they did this with like
Cool
all
Ranch
the-
Bulbasaur. You know?
Oh,
Yes,
On to something there.
So they did this with like all the original ones, and they've like made their own booster packs, and people actually buy them and have been collecting them and grading them because it's hilarious,
mean,
honestly.
Yeah, sometimes when you're ironic like that, you know, it just catches on. Why not?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Hey guys, I gotta call it a night though. I'm,
Crashing.
He can't
Yeah.
stare at the perfection on screen.
I know, yeah, it's wearing me down.
Your wife's gonna walk in and be like, "What the?" Then you're just gonna click off.
We appreciate you sticking around a little longer. Like,
Yeah, man, thank you.
notice that.
Yeah, no, it was a blast,
This was
man.
great, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for getting me involved.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks. dude.
Absolutely,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking out your own edition of the Goosebumps books. I'm very excited.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
It's
Appreciate
gonna be a
that.
good time.
Yeah, man, we'll have to have you back. This has been good. This has been really good.
Thank you. Awesome.
Peace
Thank
out,
you guys
brother.
so much.
Have a great
Yep.
night.
Have a
See
good
you,
night.
Brandon.
Yep.
Take care.
Woo!
And actually, on that note, since it's getting to be about my
Emily,
bedtime,
you shut your mouth.
Well,
All right,
should we?
Shut your filthy whore mouth.
I'll do 10 more minutes. How about that? I'll do
Yeah,
10
yeah.
more.
See, there
There
you
we
go. You
go.
just bully him and
Difference is, Justin Grace knows about us.
Oh,
She'll be like, if she heard us say that, she'd be like, yeah.
This gives us time to have like our final thought, our Dr. Phil final thought. I think I think that's a good sign here, guys. It was a good show tonight, boys.
Yeah, it was
good
fun,
show
man.
tonight. Yeah,
was
yeah.
fun.
McNulty is good stuff. I used to listen to him when I was writing my novel, A Promise of Starlight. I was working in a glass warehouse for a few years and just listened. Like, he was one of the only male booktubers that, I mean, there's like Daniel Green and stuff, but it was just like all these just female authors that kind of I didn't really not that being female was the issue. It's not
do
that like
not
being,
recommend.
Oh, we're still live. Hi. No.
yes. Well, it's not like that being female was the issue with the other booktubers. It's just like, you know, sometimes you need a male perspective, and Daniel Green was kind of just more focused on news and you know, still kind of takes a female perspective because, you know,
He's
Daniel
a
Green.
liberal. Yeah.
Yeah, Daniel Green. But
You guys remember when he figured out that most of his audience was like right wing, like conservative, like
aspiring
men.
authors, yeah.
And he's like, I don't know what I'm doing. That
You have educated your enemy, sir.
pretty much, yeah. He's like, I did a demographics test recently, and I don't really know how I feel about the results. I'm like, make good content, and good people will come. That's
It just
what we'll
Oh,
say.
dude.
what happens. Yeah.
Dude, it seems like, and like John Delarose is like made it's like every other video just taking shots at him ever since that whole business in Vegas came out.
No, really.
It's like,
Still,
dude,
huh?
chill with
Still.
that, man.
We did a couple of live streams, but it was mostly for humor's sake, and I think it was
Pretty
pretty.
freaking funny too.
It was pretty.
Yeah,
I don't think I've had more fun on a stream than some of those, because it was just hours of roasting and joking around,
Yeah.
and sitting there in like contemplative disbelief. Yeah,
And then being right.
and
That
then
was-
being
Yeah.
and then being right.
That was still fun. That was hilarious, man.
that's where the whole friendship wiener meme came from.
SA bingo card.
Yes.
I was
Oh,
watching. I'm like, holy cow, you're something else.
Oh,
Justin, we talked about it beforehand. We held back like a
Oh
lot.
my gosh, I believe it. Actually, I do believe that. I do.
And then we're watching. It's because it was so much happening in the confessions and in the response videos that we would miss things. And then I figured, I'm like, dude, she's reenacting and showing what happened. She's naked. And he's like, wait, what? We go back. It's like, oh my, she took her clothes off for the reenactment and put it on YouTube. I mean, like,
Yeah,
to
the
the
whole-
blanket.
yeah.
But, like, what?
Yeah, the whole thing was pretty wild. Not even gonna lie.
That was
yeah.
insane.
Yeah, I had like thumbnails lined up. It was pretty great.
dude, like for the whole month after that, like he was so subdued on his videos. Like every video he was so like tamed down. Like he seems to be like back in like standard form now.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, that was funny, man. But I know like the pool.
Like he wasn't guilty of that, but he did make his own bed, so to say.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah.
But the pool, like you said, but you were saying, AC, like the pool of legitimate voices that, at least for me, like personally, I have any interest in listening to is pretty small.
Yeah, there's some that I've listened to, and it's not that they made bad content for AuthorTube and like writing advice. It's that at some point they kind of run out of things to say, and then their videos start becoming copycats of older videos.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just like what Chrisman was saying earlier too, Brandon. He has a way of like pointing at direct examples and just being like, now let's look at this example right here.
Here's why this sucks.
This sucks because of this. This is good because of this. Here's an example for that too. This video. Guess what? This video's under 10.
Yes.
This video's under 10 minutes. You now go back to work after your break. Done. Boom. Over.
Mm-hmm.
Good advice and everything. Like, and it's just like wow, and it just like clicked a lot of times, and it. I don't know. You listen to enough of that, or like maybe you're looking for something in particular, right? You're an author and you're writing a dialogue scene. You can go to his dialogue videos, and he's like certain types of dialogue and shit, and then like multiple examples, and you could be like, oh dang, there it is. You know, it's pretty great.
Yeah, absolutely. But we can always talk afterwards, fellas. But
yeah,
we should give Justin. Never mind. Nothing I'm about to say is going to sound not gay. So anyway, we should get him off.
Yay!
Yes. We should release Justin. Wait, no, never mind. There's no way to say it and make it sound normal. But he's in hockey. He knows all about grabbing another man's stick. So let's end this stream.
Are you saying Justin needs to finish?
Yeah.
He needs release. Yep.
They're in the middle of a hockey match. It's like finish him. Anyway.
Oh jeez.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to our very serious series here on the Iron Seas. Thank you for joining us. Join us next Tuesday at 6:30 PST, where Mr. Phoenix Man will be joining us once again, and we will revisit the world of Screetron. What?